Every little smile cuts straight through. Girl, their mouth. What stories does it tell? What secrets does it say? What kind of heaven waits behind that view? Girl, their mouth. Midnight dripping from the edge to your eye. Danger wrapped in a perfect disguise. Every word lands slow and deliberate, making self-control difficult to maintain. The city keeps spinning somewhere outside, but in this moment nowhere else survives. Just the sound of your voice moving through the room, like a slow burning fuse. No need for promises tonight. No need to make it complicated. Just curiosity and desire. Waiting in the dark, girl, what that mouth do? Got me on my knees looking up at you. Every heartbeat pulling me closer to the truth. Girl, what that mouth do? The rain keeps falling on the avenue. The neon paints the world in blue, and every road keeps leading back to you. Still wondering what that mouth do.
What's up, guys? What is up? What is up? So today will probably be it's a special, interesting stream. I have a regular or a regular what would I say? Detractor, a regular detractor, someone who regularly disagrees with me. Werewolf. Damn, you know I love debating, and I don't get an invite. I'm down. I don't really. I'm down. If you want to, we could have a few, interesting conversation. I again tonight's debate is usually I have a specific person, right? A specific person that that wanted to have a conversation, have a debate, but I'm always down to have Alan. Yes, it's Alan. Alan wants to have a particular debate on I guess a recent video. All right. A recent YouTube short I have, but he last debate I had with him, right? He had some criticism of the red pill. So hopefully we'll touch that too, right? Hopefully me and him can touch with that on that. Why he disagrees with the red pill, right? Why he says red pill is more detrimental than good. We'll have a conversation with that. So hopefully we can have a conversation on that. So but I guess before he comes, I guess I'll react to some videos. So before he comes, I'll react to some videos.
Can men become pregnant or no? if you have a uterus.
Real Rain, thank you for being here, my brother.
A man with a uterus.
All right. So these are some videos that I have saved that I want to talk about. So, you know, before hopefully Alan will come. We'll react to some videos together. I just recently came back from Philadelphia Fan Expo Comic Convention. Spent a lot of money for my daughter. And you know, my niece and whatnot. So I'm broke. I am broke. It's tough out there. It's tough out there. So it was a depressing day. Right? It was a depressing day because I also had to deal with some you know, some other personal drama. But it's like it's hard being a father, right? It's hard being a father because people always expect you to pay, you know, spend, right? It's ridiculous. It is. So that's some drama I had to deal with. You know, expecting me to, because this little personal note, right? I'm going to get my daughter an iPad, right, for her birthday, which is coming up in like 2 months. I decided to get her a 2025, right, iPad. It's new, right, brand new. You know, but it's like, you know, it's standard. It's not like Pro or whatever, or I don't know, 2026, whatever. But I get criticism for not buying her a Pro, a 12 grand iPad, right? I'm getting criticism. Well, not 12 grand, $1,200 iPad. When the iPad I'm getting her, which is really no different, it's about $400. It's like ridiculous. If you knew what I spent on the World Cup tickets, you and Eddie would beat me. Are you? So you're going to the World Cup ticket? Where's that being held? Where's that being held? So okay. Yo, which one are you going to? I'm guessing you're going to the Houston one or the Dallas one. I didn't know that the World Cup is going to be held in Philadelphia too. That'd be interesting. Evo Eddie, what is up, my brother? What is up? So, like I said before, Alan comes. Let's react to some videos. Okay, in the NRG Stadium. Interesting. Hopefully that is going to be fun for you. I know you're a big soccer fan, or big football fan, as the hooligans call it.
Sensual sex. What percentage of pregnancies are a third-year medical student, someone training to be a doctor, someone who came onto the show to tell Michael Knowles he needs to expand his perspective, and she just told you she is not sure if men can get pregnant. Not a trick question, not a gotcha. A basic biological fact that every first-year science student could answer in their sleep. And this is the person the left is putting forward to defend abortion. This is the strongest version of their argument. A medical student who cannot tell you whether men have uteruses, hold that thought, because what you are about to watch is how we got there. And more importantly, what happens after. Do you have an answer for that, or are we just denying the humanity of the baby?
No, absolutely. So when you put up a scenario of trying to put out a hit with the mafia, you are talking about murdering a born, living, conscious, sentient, autonomous person. When we talk about abortion, we are talking about ending a non-autonomous life. You do not have the right to bodily autonomy if you are not autonomous. And if you are a fetus prior to the limit of viability, you do not have autonomy. Therefore, you do not have the right to bodily autonomy.
This is a great point.
You reside inside of the body of an autonomous person, and the right to bodily autonomy allows you to refuse to use your body to support the life of another person.
So this is a precise and important point you've made. You've acknowledged that abortion ends a life, but you've said, those were your exact words, you just said that the life is not autonomous. Would you say that a 2-day-old post-birth baby is autonomous?
It has bodily autonomy, and its body system is able to.
How does it have bodily autonomy? Is it so? Are you saying that because it's not connected to the mother, it has no body autonomy, or it's not connected, so it has body autonomy? It's like, it's kind of ridiculous, right? So it's getting its food from the mother. Now, so are you saying that babies that are getting breastfed, do they not have body autonomy because it's getting sustenance from the mother? Usually the ones who are breastfed, they only are breastfed. Dizzy, what is up?
Function autonomously, yes. You are trying to get to the
itself?
point.
Right there is the moment the entire debate turns. Knowles asked her one simple question: is a 2-day-old baby autonomous? And she said yes. She said yes. Think about what that concession just did. Her entire argument up to that point was built on the idea that the baby in the womb has no autonomy and therefore no right to life. The second she confirmed that a 2-day-old baby outside the womb was autonomous, she handed Knowles the knife and asked him to use it, because a 2-day-old baby cannot feed itself, cannot clothe itself, cannot survive for a single hour without complete external care from another human being. If dependency is the standard for whether a life deserves protection, then a newborn...
Oh, Evil Eddie, I'm telling you, right? You gotta love it. I get so many comments of saying, who's that song? Who created that song that you did, right? Who created that song you have? Boy, I get prideful. Right? I get prideful that people are loving the music you have.
fails that test just as completely as a fetus. She either did not see the trap or she walked into it anyway. Either way, the argument collapsed right there, and the debate had...
This is the weakness of the left, right? The weakness of the left. I've said this before, okay? I'm pro-choice, just not pro-abortion. I'm pro-choice, not pro-abortion. I don't care what you do with your body. I don't support you killing a baby. I don't care what you do with your body. I would have so much more respect, right? So much more respect for pro-abortion people if they just say that, you know what? You're just irresponsible. You had sex with a person that you either don't want a child with or they don't want a child with you. So you just don't want to suffer the consequences of having a child. That's it. I would have so much more respect, right? So much more respect for people that, you know what? Just be completely honest. I just don't want it, right? I just don't want. I don't care. I know I'm murdering a baby. I know. I just don't want it, right? I would have so much more respect. Insanely. I'll be okay, fine. You know what? It's like that is disgusting, right? That is cruel, but you know what? Fine. It is what it is. At least you're honest about it. That I would have more respect. People that said it has no autonomy, has no consciousness, has no whatever. It's a bunch of cells. It's only a fetus. It's not a human. Shit like that. It's like you're just saying shit so you don't have to. You don't feel bad for doing it. I'd rather you should feel bad for doing. It's bad. Like I know I'm murdering a baby, but you know what? I don't care. I'd rather you feel bad. Or I'm not saying rather you feel bad. I'd rather you just be upfront and honest about it than say a whole lot of shit so you just feel less bad about it.
barely started.
You are trying to get to the point where they require external resources, but any person can provide that infant external resources. The utilization of someone's internal organs is very different from providing external resources.
And you wonder why, right? You wonder why science is moving towards a direction where they will just incubate, right? Incubate babies. right? You wonder why. I mean, like, you gotta wonder, right? You gotta wonder why science is moving towards, you know, robots to incubate babies. You wonder why, you know, they're doing test tubes, like all this shit. Right? You wonder why. It's because of stupid women like this. It's because of pro-abortion people like this, right? You wonder why.
You cannot force someone to be a parent and provide external resources. You can give up that child at any point that you stop consenting to your parental responsibilities and your parental rights.
Okay, so that's fine. So we've acknowledged now that the baby is living in the womb or outside the womb. It's a living being, and that the baby is not really autonomous. I mean, maybe it has. It's not attached by an umbilical cord, but it certainly doesn't have autonomy when it's 2 days old. It needs to eat. It needs everything taken care of for it. What you're saying is, though, once the umbilical cord has been severed, the baby can be taken care of by
Big bars. What is up, my brother? What is up? I agree.
someone else. So then my question is,
Like the new profile.
why would we not merely encourage adoption if the mother feels
Again, hopefully Alan will show up. Hopefully, not for too long. He says he'll probably be here around 9, so we'll see. Yeah, tonight we'll have a debate, right? Alan has a regular. If you guys haven't seen it, right? If you've seen my other debates, he's a regular disagreeer, right? He has a lot of disagreements, which is great. I love that. I don't mind that. So I want to talk about his disagreements on whatever. Plus, I want to talk about his views on Redpill. He had negative views on Redpill before, and I want to talk about that. So that is what we'll be doing. But before that, we'll react to some videos together.
she can't take care of the baby, why not just give up the baby for adoption rather than killing the baby in the womb?
Now watch what she does when she realizes what just happened. She pivots. Suddenly it is not about autonomy anymore. Suddenly it is about internal organs versus external resources. The baby outside the womb can be cared for by anyone. The baby inside the womb requires your specific body. That is the new line. And look, that is actually a more coherent argument than the autonomy one. But here's the problem. She just spent the opening of this debate telling you it is about the baby not being alive enough to matter. Now she is telling you the baby is alive, but your inconvenience outweighs its life. Those are two completely different arguments, and she is running both of them simultaneously, hoping nobody notices the switch. Knowles noticed, and so did you. If this is the kind of content that actually breaks these arguments down, instead of just repeating talking points, subscribe right now, because this is what every episode looks like.
Because pregnancy in itself is a very serious medical condition that has physical, mental, emotional, and financial burdens for the pregnant person.
Yep.
And to force a person to endure that experience.
Pregnant person is like fucking stupid. Like it's such an annoyance. Like to have to be very careful with your wordings in the way that, oh, I want to be inclusive. You're stupid. Artificial wombs will destroy women, period. I agree. Women would, I mean, like, seriously, like, this is a thing where women are, their biggest roles in society is as an incubator, as cold as that sound, that is it's true. Okay. And so if we replace women, it's not going to be a good thing.
Against their will is simply immoral, and it's belittling the experience.
Against their will. Against their will. It was really within their will to have sex. It's 100% their choice. It was their choice to have sex. No one forced women to have sex. No one forced women to have sex. And I find it funny. This is why I also said this, right? And this is the hypocrisy of these women. This is the hypocrisy of pro-abortion people. Okay, I don't want to force a woman against her will to have a child, but I will force a man against his will to support a child he doesn't want. The absolute hypocrisy. Men have no say whether you will abort or not abort a child, right? Men have no legal say, no say at all, whether a woman aborts or can give birth to a child or not. but yet women are fighting for women to have say in whether they do that. Yet they would not support men having a say in whether I support a child or not support a child. That is the insanity, right? That is the weakness of the argument. This shows you their hypocrisy. This is why I said you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit about anyone else but the women, which is fine. Right? It is what it is. But be honest about it. That is it. You don't care if you're murdering a baby because you only care about the woman. You don't give a shit about the baby, right? I mean, we're seeing that with the birth rates. You don't give a shit about the baby. You just care about that woman, which is fine. It is what it is. Be honest about it. You don't care about that man, right? Whether he has to, I mean, you don't care about it, whether he's suffering, right? Whether he's suffering from his actions or not. You just care about that woman. It is what it is. But just be honest about it. That's my problem. That is my problem with the left. Just be honest about it. All right? You don't give a shit. All right? You don't give a shit about nobody but women, which is, it is what it is. It's fine. I just feel like these people don't be honest, right? You care about, oh, it's against her will. It's against her will? But you support men. You support child support, right? Feminists are advocates of child support, right? They're advocates of holding men accountable. But yet, they ain't advocates of holding women accountable.
Experience that pregnancy is.
Well, so when you say against their will, what you're referring to cases of rape, basically, right?
No,
because
when you
engage in sex, you are engaging in an act of the will, the consequence of which is, historically speaking, always pregnancy.
Correct. But when you consent to sex, you're not consenting to pregnancy. You are consenting to the possibility.
No, that is women's stupidity. When you are consenting to sex, I'm sorry, you are 100% consenting to pregnancy, right? You hope, right? This is the thing where you hope you can push off pregnancy, right? Block pregnancy, condoms, Plan B, all this shit, right? All these birth control methods. You are trying to stop pregnancy, right? You're trying to stop it. You're trying to stop something that is meant to be. Having sex is meant to have children. It's 2, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? 2 plus 2 always equals 4. Sex always equal pregnancy. But, right? But you're trying to, which with technology, right? With technology, you're trying to stop that equal sign, right? You're trying to stop the equal sign or hold it off or semi-prevent it. But it's meant to equal pregnancy. It's meant to equal pregnancy. But thanks to technology, we are able to pervert nature. And it happens a lot, right? Thanks to technology, we are able to control nature. That is human science for you, right? It's human science that allows us to control nature. But it doesn't mean that it's not true. Sex equals pregnancy. It's just thanks to human technology that we are perverting nature. Right? But just be honest about it. It's 100% true. It's just that we are so like just like how I was thinking about this, right? Just like how we are so used to our phones, right? Our smartphones having numbers built into it. We don't think about remembering phone numbers, right? We don't think about remembering phone numbers. So we get used to it, right? We get used to it, right? We get lazy about it. We don't think about it, right? We don't think about the possibility of, you know what? We may need to remember phone numbers, right? It's because of technology, it perverts us. It makes us lazy, right? It makes us lazy where we don't need to think about consequences of certain, let's say, needing a phone number, right? Remembering a phone number. So thanks to birth control, the technology of birth control, preventative measures, we don't think about it's natural to have a pregnancy when you have sex, right? Sex equal pregnancy, right? But because of technology, we don't think that, it doesn't happen. Well, that's because we perverted nature.
Of pregnancy, but you can think of it like this. You understand the difference between consensual sex and sexual assault. You should then understand the difference between wanted pregnancy and unwanted pregnancy. Technically, physically, they are the same thing.
Oh, are they the same thing? Right? Are they the same thing? She's saying consensual sex and non-consensual sex is the same thing as wanting a baby and not wanting a baby. I don't think that's a good analogy because that's not true at all, in my opinion, right? Non-consensual sex, you never agreed to sex at all. You never agreed to sex at all. Being pregnant, right? You agreed to having sex. I'm sorry. You agreed to having sex. Just like, think about this, right? Think about this. I did a crime. I did a crime, but I don't agree to receiving the punishment for said crime. Right? I don't agree to it. I know I murdered somebody. But I don't agree to receiving the punishment. That is the insanity of it, right? That's the insanity of that way of thinking. Women agree to having sex. They don't agree to having a child. But there's consequences to your actions. Right? There's consequences to your actions. And here's the thing, okay? A lot of these women don't actually dig in deeper, right? Dig in deeper with these, with actual studies. The majority of abortions are by single mothers. The majority of abortions are by single mothers. I am not here to promote irresponsible women continuing to be irresponsible women, right? It's not, that's my problem with it, right? It's just women wanting no accountability for women. That's exactly it. That is the feminist movement in a nutshell. It is women wanting no accountability for women.
But when your body is being used against your will and without your consent, those are very different experiences for the person.
But Bronte, you've just acknowledged that when you consent to sex,
She said it herself. When you consent to sex, you are consenting to the possibility of pregnancy. Her words, not Knowles, not a conservative talking point. The pro-abortion medical student said out loud that consenting to sex means consenting to the possibility of a child. And then in the very next breath, she argued that the woman should be able to withdraw that consent after the child already exists. This is the core contradiction at the heart of the entire pro-abortion movement. And it took less than 6 minutes for it to come completely out into the open. You consented to the possibility. The possibility became a reality. And now the argument is that killing the reality is a legitimate response to not wanting the consequence of your own choice. Knowles did not even have to push hard here. He just let her keep talking.
you are consenting to the possibility of pregnancy. So there you have it. There you are. You have consented to that. Now, you might not want to become pregnant. You might want to use all sorts of contraceptives and things like that. But surely, I mean, you've just said it yourself. You are consenting to that possibility. And so now you're telling me that if one wants to then withdraw one's consent because one doesn't want to be uncomfortable for some matter of months, you're saying that the better alternative is to just kill the baby whom you have acknowledged is alive?
First of all, calling pregnancy simply discomfort is belittling the experience. But you can also think
it's
like
beautiful.
Belittling the experience? You don't even find the importance of that experience, right? The audacity to say that he's belittling the experience when you just say that, you know what, we should just get rid of it, right? You literally belittling a human life. This is the problem, right? This is the audacity of the left. This is the audacity of the left. How dare you say belittling the experience, yet you yourself are promoting to destroy that experience. You are yourself are promoting to end, that experience. Absolute ridiculousness. It really is.
And miraculous too, but
yes,
it's also uncomfortable.
There's the white man who will never experience it. But
Roger,
you can think of it. No, so
Wow. Wow. Says the white man that will never experience it. Wow. This is your supposed future doctor or fucking nurse that is so political. It's like, and I don't know about you, right? I've seen a few whatchamacallit, videos or whatever of doctors, right? Or nurses being so one-sided. They don't want to treat any MAGAs or Trump supporters, right? Or even they would say they would do terrible things if they learn that you're a MAGA or Trump supporter or on the right. I'm like,
Can men become pregnant or no?
If you have a uterus,
A man with a uterus can.
Michael.
So
Because if you don't have a uterus, then you're not the men with a.
Well, look, I'm not a biologist, so I'm not sure if I'll become pregnant. I do have a little emoji that tells me that these days men can become pregnant. Regardless of that, if you're talking about non-consensual sex, what percentage of pregnancies arise from rape, incest, or involve a threat to the life of the mother?
Well, it's hard to say because about 3/4 of sexual assault go unreported. So any statistic that I would give to you is going to be inherently inaccurate.
I'll give you a statistic from the most left-wing source I can give, the Guttmacher Institute. It's the think tank for Planned Parenthood. Less than 1% of abortions take place because of rape, incest, or pose a threat to the life of the mother. So we're talking about
according to the ones that have been reported. According to the ones that have been reported.
Don't you think if there were...
Let's be honest, right? Okay, fine. According to the ones that aren't reported, okay. Let's be honest. Let's even give her the leeway. How many people would you think that didn't report it? 20% more? Less than 1%. Now you're saying that, you know what? 20%, right, are the ones who don't report it. What? More than I'm spitballing, right? So I'm not accurate. More than, I don't know, 1,000 times, right? More than 1,000 times of women didn't report it. You're stupid as shit.
Don't you think if there were a scarier statistic that the most pro-abortion organization in the country might use those statistics?
And there it is. The moment she cannot answer the statistics, she questions the statistics. The Guttmacher Institute is not some right-wing think tank. It is the research arm of Planned Parenthood. It is the
Red Door, what is up, my sister? What is up?
Single most pro-abortion data organization in the United States. And their own numbers say that less than 1% of abortions happen because of rape, incest, or a threat to the mother's life. Less than 1%. The left has built an entire emotional argument around the hardest cases, the rape victim, the woman whose life is at risk, the incest survivor. And those cases are real and they are devastating and they deserve serious moral consideration. But they represent less than 1% of the abortions that actually happen in America. The other 99% are happening for other reasons. Reasons that Bronte herself described as discomfort, changes to the body, financial pressure. And when Knowles pointed this out using her own side's data, she did not refute the number. She questioned how the number was collected. Trust the science, right? Trust.
Interesting. I'm waiting for Alan, right? He wanted to have a debate today. So I'm waiting for him particularly. So yeah.
Hi there, how's it going? What do you think of President Trump?
I don't know. I don't think he's safe.
You don't think he's safe? What does that mean?
I think that he's in danger. I think one of these days.
What do you think he's in danger from?
Dude, he's just such an asshole. Like, everybody's gonna kill him. Somebody's gonna do it.
Okay.
At this point, somebody's gonna do it.
What do you think about him? Do you like him?
You know, imagine this, right? Imagine this. That just imagine this. When Obama was president, right? When Obama was president, we have so many people on the right saying, "Oh, just imagine if someone just ended his life. Imagine if someone targeted Obama." Every time, right? Oh, he's just terrible, right? Would they not call him racist? Would they not attack the right, saying the right is violent? The right is just, I don't know, just a terrible bunch of people trying to constantly talk about the death of your president. That's what we got.
Not really. I don't know the guy.
Why don't you like
It
him?
makes me uncomfortable.
What
I
about
don't
him
know.
makes you uncomfortable?
I don't like his remarks. I mean, then again, it's kind of like empty because he's a man.
Don't like his remarks, right? Isn't that like wanting to control someone's speech? Isn't that fascism? Right? Isn't that part of fascism? I just find it funny.
And
What's up, my brother? What is up? I'm ready for you. The link should be all the way in the top. The link should be all the way at the top.
he's rich. And when he talks about women, he doesn't really care. But I mean, it affects me. I feel like as a politician, you have to be a little bit more respectful towards women. I didn't like how he made comments about his own daughter. Then again,
What comments about his daughter did he make?
you know, that like when she gets older, that
No, the link is all the way at the top.
he'll like, oh, I'm gonna marry her.
He never said that. Trump never said that.
Well,
He said that perhaps if she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. Sure, weird comment, but I hope your father thinks you're beautiful. I hope your father thinks you're a good person. I hope that your father's instilled the qualities in you that he would look for in a partner. That's all Trump was saying. It's not weird. Or I mean, it's not like he's saying, maybe it's a little weird, but he's not saying I'm going to marry my daughter. He's not saying I'm going to have sexual relations with my daughter. He's just saying I have a very beautiful daughter and I've still instilled in her the qualities that I would look for when searching for a partner, which is what every
I
father should do.
guess. I don't know. I'm just not like a right-leaning person. I'm kind of like a realist, I guess.
A realist? What the fuck? What about the things you said would constitute a realist?
I just don't really like Democrats or Republicans. I don't like politicians.
Good evening. Wait, can you hear me?
I can hear you, my brother. I can hear
Good
you.
to hear
How you
How you
been?
doing? Oh, I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm okay and tired. Took my daughter to the comic convention, so
Oh, yeah?
I'm poor today and
That's nice.
tired, but I'm
Yeah,
good.
that's fair. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Comic-Con in a while. They had one
I
posted
mean,
up in Detroit a few years ago that I went to with my brother, but that's pretty cool.
I love it. I think it's fun.
Hell yeah, dude. Been real into Batman lately. You see the Lego Batman video game that came out?
No, I'm not a big
Dude.
gamer.
Oh, really? Oh, that's fair. I recommend it. It's fun. Like it's a good time, seriously.
Okay.
Anyway, that's what I've been into, you know. Yeah, sorry for taking a second. What you been talking about on the stream so far? I don't mean to cut off whatever you're doing.
No, it's all. I said this already in the stream. The stream was meant to be for you.
Oh, thanks.
Right? Yeah, because again, right? I wanted to talk about whatever topic you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Plus, I wanted to continue our conversation from last time, where hopefully you have a little bit more backing. Where I love this, right? I've said this before, right? Nothing is perfect, but the red pill saved me, right? And I believe it saved a lot of men. I believe it helped a lot of men. So I would love to have a good conversation on it, because this is the problem. We don't have enough good conversation with people who truly see the negativity of the red pill. or the manosphere or the men's
Yeah.
content,
Yeah.
and we don't break it down, right? So I want to say this, right? I'm not looking to change your mind and make you red pill. That's not my goal. But
Sure.
but my goal is to at least have you understand the logic, right? Whether you agree with it or not, that's up to you. But if you can say that, you know what, I see your point, I understand your point, then I've accomplished my goal. And that's what I'm hoping for, right? And that's what I want.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I understand that. Yeah, I'm fine with that, man. It's your show.
Yeah.
Just going. Well, how do you want to get into it? You got something to ask
Well,
me, talk about, whatever, man. I'm here.
Well, we want to start it by what pretty much spurred the thing that you wanted to come on for tonight.
Oh, that was
Um,
that. I mean, if you want to talk about that, we can get into.
Yeah, we could
I'd kind of rather
get
get
it.
into your topic because mine was a little more abstract. If that's what you want to talk about, we can
No,
definitely
I
start
mean,
off.
well, we could cover it a little bit just to get the ball rolling, and then we'll move to what I wanted to go to.
I honestly
Right?
kind of rather start with what you had in mind, if I'm being
Okay.
honest, because
Well, then
I
that's
don't
fine. That's
think,
fine.
if I'm being honest with you, I really don't know if we're gonna find much middle ground on that, just inherently. Um,
Okay.
I think that, I mean, seriously, but I'm interested to hear what more you have to say, honestly. I'm more interested in what you have to say than what I do.
No
Um,
problem. No problem. I don't mind. I mean, I
yeah, no,
wanted to talk
so
about this
what was on
topic.
your
I don't
mind
mind.
with that? What was on your
No,
mind with that?
no. Well, the thing is that it's not necessarily what's on my mind, right? So
Sure,
again,
sure.
you brought it up the last time, and I
Yeah,
think that we didn't really dig
yeah,
into it,
no, not really.
really, right? So I wanted to give you the spotlight where hopefully I
Okay.
can, at the best of my ability, have a good back and forth of it. Okay,
Hmm.
so again, Alan, right? Last time we tried to do it, but it wasn't like as clean or as as nice as I would hope. But Alan felt that the red pill is negative to men, right? Maybe I
Yes.
don't know if he thinks 100%, but in general, maybe it's negative to men. I believe it's not, right?
Hmm.
Because I believe red pill is an ideology. It's descriptor, not prescriptor, right? So at the end of the day, right? If you let's say this, right? Hypothetically, how I
Hmm.
see red pill is that let's say if I tell all men to go exercise, right? But you have when all men take that advice, but you see some men who go exercise, they may do steroids, right? They may do, they may go extreme, right? So they're
Right,
they're
right.
all muscle, zero fat, and like, or I've been today just funny. I just saw this woman who drastically changed her, right? She, I mean, have you ever seen? She looks like a man. I
Sure.
mean, she must be like stirred up, right? So here's a woman who takes that advice of go and exercise, took it to the far extreme, or her version of extreme,
Well, yeah.
but it's still the same basis, right? And that's something that a lot of people don't understand, right? So I want to clear up any misconception, because here's I said this to you last time, right? People like maybe you say Marvin Gaines or Andrew Tate, all that shit like that, where I agree that they can be controversial, they can be their talking points can be extreme, but there is some logic to the basis. The basis of their argument is logical. It makes sense. It's just they push it to an extreme, like I said with my example. So I want to give you the floor. Give me some examples. Give me some ideas that you feel why it's a detriment to men.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would say, yeah, I don't think that necessarily the like general ideas, like you present it. If you had an elevator pitch to explain what the red pill is, it would sound a lot more. I mean, even you can agree with this. It would sound a lot more better than what it actually turns into in practice a lot of the time. I mean, we can't agree. There's a lot of loons going that call themselves red pillars, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
just a fact. There's a lot of wackos. Like, there's a lot of wackos on every side, but like the manosphere isn't. Like, or whatever, red pill. Let's call it red pill. I know they're
yeah,
different things, but let's
yeah,
call it
yeah,
red pill. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, obviously every niche subgroup is going to have its extremes, but I mean, the red pill is not immune from that, right? We can agree on
yeah.
that.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that my biggest issue is that a lot of the basic concepts that do sound nice in theory can very easily turn into the extreme, like very easily. And it bothers me that the red pill community as a whole doesn't seem to really disavow these extremes, right? Like you said, you tell all men to exercise, some are going to take to the extreme and take steroids. I would not blame the person who said that if they also said don't take steroids. but it seems that the leaders of the red pill are either relatively apathetic to the actual like genuine misogyny, like the genuine hatred that some of the red pillars have in their heart for other groups, and it seems like at the very least they're apathetic, and sometimes it seems like they might even be pushing it accidentally or purposely. Either way, I don't think that. I think that the quality control within the community is kind of its biggest detriment to me. And the fact that I was watching like 3 videos on that new account, and within 3 days I had a Sneeko video come up, and we can agree that he's at the extreme end, right?
I think I can agree. Sneako's stupid.
Yeah, it for real took me 3 days before my algorithm started recommending stuff about him, right? So I think that it's a very slippery slope for telling men that their issues are in fact like other people's faults, and that they just need to put their head down and just start running. I think can lead to isolation, loneliness, and radicalization like quickly if not checked. And it bothers me that a lot of the red pill community doesn't try to check it, because they are. I mean, like Myron Gaines, like you said, obviously I know that he's different, but he is relying on the goodwill of, I mean, realistically, either teenagers that don't really know how the world works, or like actual nutty people for money, right? Like he knows that he's trying to weed out the more moderate people because they aren't going to be the ones that give him money. So he's obviously not going to disavow the people that run up and to Sneeko and start saying like fuck women, Hitler was right, like things like that. Like they're not going to disavow those people because they're relying on those people. Those are people that pay them, and I think that is the ugliness of the red pill that I think that you should address more. I guess it's kind of my opening statement. How do you feel about that?
Okay, I'm first, right? I do want to get on the topic with misogyny. I definitely want to point that out. But let's get on to what your opening statement was, which is good, right? It is a very common complaint. Misogyny put aside, right? So here's my thing. Okay, here's my thing where if you let's say hypothetically, let's say Marvin Gaines, which I kind of stopped listening to. I mean, I don't listen to Fresh and Fit that often.
Yeah.
But I did start, and I did love the content, but I did feel the extreme of the content. But here's my thing where you brought up Sneeko. Now here's again, this is a kid, right? I'm sorry, he's only maybe a little bit older than you.
Yeah, no, he's young. Yeah, I'm still good. Yeah.
So
right.
The problem, that's the problem with what we have, right? So I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree in the sense that you said like, oh, let's I don't know, hold other people accountable and stuff like that. But this is the problem when young people listen to certain things, they don't listen to everything, right? They have short attention spans. Yeah. They don't also critically think. So let's say hypothetically for Sneeko, I find him stupid, right? The man, like he jumps all over the point when he learns shit, right? Now he's a Muslim, but barely knows all that shit. So Sneeko is a good example, but also an example that, you know what? He is, let's say, a casualty of war in a sense. Where how I look at this is that I look at Red Pill as like, shooting a shotgun, right? Where you want to spread the message as much as possible. When you do that, you are going to have casualties. It is what it is. Now, but the point is that you hope you spread the message as far as wide as possible, and you hope that more people will listen to the whole message. Because if, let's say, hypothetically, someone like Myron Gaines, right, Fresh and Fit, they do say a lot of things that maybe be extreme, but they also say that, hopefully, right, because the extreme languages that certain say, hopefully, if you do everything, right, so one is improve your mindset, improve your body, improve your wealth, hopefully, right, all that comes with maturity. Right, particularly improving your mindset. Sad thing is a lot of these people, they don't do all of it, right? So they listen to, let's say, the very hot, I don't know, the clip worthy speeches that, let's say, Fresh and Fit do, and then they say, oh, improve your money. So they become rich, and how about maybe stupid, right? Rich and stupid. But if you listen to the whole thing, you should improve your mindset, improve your body. Discipline of your body helps. Discipline of your body, discipline of your mindset helps 100%. Everything. So this is the problem where, because we have this in the left, right?
I agree on a like I said, when you're pitching it to somebody, it sounds a lot better than in practice. I mean, like, when the mind, improving your mindset. I will give the one thing that the Red Pill tends to focus on, but I think also sometimes to a fault is the idea of physical attractiveness and physical features and physical fitness, because I think that those are things that a man should work on. I think that is something. I don't think it's inherently bad to not necessarily care much about it if they're happy, but I don't think pushing that is bad at all. But I think that the extreme can easily be taken, right? And I think that it's not. I think that the prognosis from a lot of red pillars that I see, that it's like an absolute that you need to worry about these things, can lead to, and this, I guess this was my overall point about the idea of why I think it's not a net negative on the individual necessarily, because the red pill does, I mean, it helps because it tells you that you're right. It tells you everything you want to hear. I mean, whether or not you believe it to be correct is, that, I guess that's up for debate. But like, I mean, the red pill is constantly telling everyone that is in it that they're right and everyone else is wrong. I mean, that's like one of its biggest tenets. One of its biggest tenets is that the red pill. I mean, it's the Matrix. I mean, you've woken up from the rest of everyone else.
See, that's the faulty, right? You're saying what everyone wants to hear. No, it's just telling you what everyone observes of reality. So let's say
I'm saying, but like, I mean, it is a funny coincidence that like this community labeled after a movie in which the main character takes a pill and realizes that actually the way that the world works and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It is a little coincidence that it turns out that they've been right about everything all of the time. I mean, right? I mean, you have to admit it's a little silly to assume that they actually have, right? It's just an ideology.
But you gotta think, right? This is why there's a certain key factors. One, red pill usually only focuses on men dating. And just men and dating, right? So it's not like we're not talking about politics. It's like, so to be right, let's say supposedly right on certain things all the time, isn't that hard to grasp when you only focus on one particular topic. Plus, red pill does take into account generality, right? So pretty much every single red pillar will always talk about, I'm talking in general, right? So they know exceptions. So of course, that helps the opposed to right all the time thing, where if you talk about in general, you will probably be right all the time because you're not being specific to every single case or every single person. So I think it's a little bit, I guess.
Right, but on the topic of like the sexual market
in general, which makes out to be right most of the time.
Yes, but I think that a lot of the things that are quote unquote proven are up for debate, but they're treated. I mean, everyone wants to feel smart. And if I found a community called the Red Pill, once again, based off of the idea that the main character wakes up from everything, that everything he knew was a lie, like that makes me feel a lot smarter than the other people, like inherently. Like it makes me feel like I'm part of like an exclusive crowd when they're really not. I mean, it is just internet ideology. I mean, it's not particularly interesting. It's just the way that it's presented is sensationalist. Like, I mean, like the idea of like, the sexual market, like the dating market, like this is a thing that's been around forever. It's just been less pronounced for young people. And I think that it's a bad thing to introduce these ideas to young people. I think because it can lead to radicalization. I mean, we've seen this. I mean, we do see this.
That is dishonest.
I think that this is what I mean by telling them what they want to hear and that they're always right. Like, I think that the idea that a lonely kid stumbling into a community called the Red Pill, which is a big thing. I mean, I know it's just a colloquialism, but still, I mean, it is a lot more pretentious than a lot of other similar communities.
Alan, let me say this, right? This is very dishonest, disingenuous of you, and a hypocrite of you, right? You said it yourself.
I don't know. What's that?
Let me get the argument, right? Let me get the argument across.
Okay.
And again, I want to be respectful. We give each other time. You've said it before. Like, I'm not saying you're saying direct, but you said you would say your ideology leans towards the left, Democrat, progressive, liberals, and let's be honest. Yes. So if by your logic, right, red pill, it pushes radicalism. Okay, well then that's practically every ideology in this world. So we should get rid of.
No,
I can name you radicals. No, that's wrong. I can name you radicals in every single ideology: communism, socialism, progressive. I can name you every group, every demographic has its radicals. So to say that, you know what, this group produces radicals.
No,
so
my argument is that this group is whatever. My argument is that this group is mainly radicals.
So that's ridiculous. What's your basis for?
Because in my opinion, the general idea of the red pill is inherently radical. It's not moderate to assume that women are the downside of humanity. That's not a moderate take that men need to like, go their own way and stop listening to
First of
women. I
all,
mean, that is an extreme position to take on
I
most
mean,
things.
no.
So I think that the idea is inherently pretty far out from what most people call moderate. And I think that the
No.
radicals to come out of this is my opinion. I'm just saying. I think that the radicals to come out are even more wacko. Personally, I mean that's my
Okay,
really overall position.
but here's the thing. Here's my counterproof right there. You said red
Sure.
pill is radical, right? Show me. I mean, I can show you this, right? I can show you in modern time, right? Of how the left, how Democrats, how progressives are so radical. They have killed more people. Like Donald Trump alone has had many assassination attempts. I'm pretty sure are from the left. Charlie Kirk has died. We've had so many supposed protesters that lead to violence, or people getting beaten or whatever. I have videos, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So show me a red pill, whatever movement, event, whatever that has produced violence or murder of some kind. I literally to show you why I think literally.
So first of all,
violence
the
and murder
idea
coming
of
from the left literally shows you how level radical, right? The left is. Yeah,
I highly disagree
you
with
say
what you're saying.
the right is more radical. What is your argument for that? What is your proof? What is the basis of that argument? Just saying, okay,
Well,
just saying
I'll run
that
a couple
feminism and the downfall of humanity. Great, that's talking, right? But what's
but that is like that's a relatively my point. I'm not even arguing. My next point was actually that the red pill relies on whataboutisms quite often to get its point across, and you did it without even me saying it.
No, but is that
so I think that's a point for
that's
me.
really not that's not really a good argument.
I think it is.
But
I think that if your ideology relies on other people does it too, so it's not that bad. I think that can lead to way more.
On your argument. We in life we compare shit.
No, I understand, but
if there's a man, there's a woman, right? If there's a man, there's a woman. If it's
I don't think that it's necessary to
negative.
compare things. I don't think that
You can say that if it's not necessary, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't. There's not a good argument, right? Right?
No,
it doesn't mean that it's
saying,
a valid argument, right? It doesn't mean that it's not a valid tactic. It's valid. You can't disprove
but it comes off as, in my opinion, it comes off as whining
how you feel is
childish.
Invalid to me, right? How you feel is invalid to me.
Well, and the second thing that I'm saying, and I want to say this.
Whataboutism doesn't feel good. Okay, great for you. I don't care about your feelings. Make it sound logical.
To do with it doesn't make me feel good. Well, I'll say that what you said, it doesn't seem incredibly logical. Okay, I'll explain it.
Go for
it. First of all, you just equated a very niche online community that we're talking about to hundreds of millions of people, quote unquote, on the left. So, like, I don't think that's even a vague. I don't think that's a real comparison. I think that's more of just I want to win this talking point, which is a whataboutism. The red pill community online is not even slightly comparable to the idea of the American political left. I mean, that's hundreds of millions of people with vastly different ideas. Like Bernie Sanders and Gavin Newsom are technically the American political left. Do you think that they wouldn't even get along for 5 seconds if they had coffee together, right? But the red pill community specifically relies on brotherhood and agreeing with very similar things. Like those are not comparable. Secondly, the idea that I'm not even going to debate. I'm not even going to talk about that. I really just want you to look up when we're done the actual breakdown of right-wing partisan and left-wing partisan violence. The government does it. They do studies on it. It's public access. I assure you that you will be incredibly surprised by what it says. That's all I'm saying on that. I don't even want to argue.
No. I have looked it up. But do you know that
a lot of and you still just lie? You just lied to me,
right? Do you know that a lot of violence committed by the left or anything that
break down what the left is for me. What is the left? Just describe the left. The left is 180 million people.
It's ideology. People that support feminism, racism, right? People that constantly talk about it, support alphabet community. So it's ideology, right? So my personal
left is more. Okay. Right? If you want to think that, that's fine.
Let's say this: these statistics, these studies, which is fine, but they also don't include, let's say, violence and riots from, let's say, any of the you know,
Yes, those
BLM
don't.
riot.
And if
It
you
doesn't
read the
include a
studies,
lot of.
they do account for those. They do not put it in the
They don't.
specific study. They do not put in the specific statistics because the study that I'm assuming we both read, we're both talking about the same one. I don't remember exactly what. I think it was just a Pew research, whatever.
Yeah.
Specifically, is only accounting for targeted manifesto. I'm going to hurt this person because they disagree with me politically, which is really. It's hard to get a head count on a. It's hard to get a head count survey during a random protest in Minneapolis. So
Well,
when
I
it's
mean,
breaking it down, also for the record, if you want to go that route, do you think that the people that supported the January 6 riots should all also be indicted as right-wing violence? Because I don't think it would be. I think that that's just random indoctrination on the internet. I wouldn't say that they should be incited for violence. Same thing with the person showing up to a protest and one person just happens to break a store window. I don't think all 1,000 people in the area should be indicted for left-wing violence.
well, I mean, yeah,
Right?
I agree.
I mean,
I
right?
agree.
Come on, DA.
I said agree.
This is a moot point, dude.
No, I said I agree, but it's like this is the thing where I always take data with a grain of salt because a lot of it is not, as I don't know, inclusive as possible.
Okay,
but
then this is
I
my
don't.
this actually
This is
goes
the
to
thing,
my
right? No,
next
no,
point
wait,
quite
wait,
well.
wait.
This goes to my that sentence is really good for the next thing I was going to say. I want to hear what you have to say about it.
I want to go back to before what you were saying too before.
Sure.
This
Okay.
is the issue, right? You said it. Red pill is a niche. So red pill is a
I mean, it
niche.
is.
While let's say left wing politics or progressive, all that stuff, it's a bigger thing. So to say that
Right. But I mean,
something
no, like the
small,
red pill is a niche the same way that like
small
a
is niche
socialist is a niche. Like they're
detriment.
very defined topics. That's my point. Not that it
Yeah,
doesn't depend on the
I'm
size
just,
of the group. It just depends on the actual like what can you
but
define it within 3 sentences? Yes, then it's a niche. No, then it's an idea that everyone disagrees on. Like they're different things. That's my
I
point.
just find it, but I more find it the weak of the argument where it's radical. It's the problem with it, right? It may produce radical men. I don't necessarily disagree, but it's like the logic is not consistent, right? Where something is niche that produce radical men, something that is huge, as in left-wing politics,
No, but
it
that's.
produced a lot of radical people. But
I don't
that
think we're on the same page here, DA. Can I reframe what I said?
okay.
Not that I'm even disagreeing with you. I just don't think we're talking about the same thing. My point was not that it depends on the size, and that's dependent on if I think it's like more dangerous of being radical. I'm saying that the left is not a thing in the way that a lot of people say, the same way that the right isn't a thing. I mean, like everyone has their own political ideas. I say that I'm left leaning in general, but that's American politics left leaning. If I talk to a leftist in Italy right now, we probably wouldn't get on a lot of things. Like you can
I'm
demonize
only talking about
the
America.
left.
I'm only talking about America.
Okay, then that's that is such a broad idea. I'm saying
Is
that
it
doesn't count.
promotes
Yeah.
feminism, talks about
I
against
know there's
racism,
I
cares
don't
about
think
the
that there's
opposite community, pro-abortion. I literally could put you topics that what
The
I mean,
left.
maybe I'm not
the left.
using definitional, but what I
Right,
perceive
but I
as
think the
left
definitions are
is literally
good.
all those.
I think that that's how conversations should be made. And that was my next thing is that
This is
if
the
you
thing where
can if you can make up your own definitions of things, then you'll always be right.
well,
If I
not,
can just say,
here's
well,
the thing.
I think that Trump is a Nazi because the Nazis drove on roads and Trump drive road. Like I can make my own definition on anything.
That's
I'm just saying that, like, but I'm saying, DA, for conversations like this, if you are allowed to use your own definitions, then the conversation ends the moment anyone pulls out their own definition of something. We need to use defined definitions. We need to use statistics. We need to use proven things in order for either of us to be on the same
we don't
page.
have to use statistics.
No, but I'm saying that I think they're good. I think they're good to prove a point. I think they should be used to prove your point. I think they should be used to form opinions.
I think
numbers are incredibly important. No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I think that I'm just saying that if you're allowed to just say, like, I think that this thing is this, therefore you're wrong, the conversation is never going to be productive. Because if we're running out of the same definition, then we'll.
Because this is the problem with you, Alan, right? So let's do this, right? So you said I'm gonna show you, right? Okay, let's do Google it, right? In the context of political spectrum, the left refers to ideologies and groups that embrace social change, prioritizing egalitarianism, and support government actions to address systemic inequality. Literally,
what does that mean? That is so. That is such a vague idea. I know leftists that don't talk about racism. I know leftists that don't think systemic racism exists.
No, it is. But this is the problem, right? It is vague. This is why I literally use my definition, like how I used it, right, to be even more specific. right?
but you can't.
No, no,
Yeah, and I agree.
and my definition.
DA,
you
I'll
put it
debate
in the
those
frame
people.
of this. This is why I find you. This is why I find you disingenuous, right? I really do. I
I
really
don't
find
think you know.
disingenuous.
Do you know what is
Here's-
the? Can you wait? I mean, you call me that a lot.
How I show you disingenuous, right? So
What
the
is
things
the
I just said.
definition of disingenuous
wait,
to you? What is the
Dis-
definition of
you're-
disingenuous? Quickly.
You're not honest, right? Because here's the thing, right? You're not honest
I'm
because
not honest.
yeah, because here's the thing,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So if I say the left, right, would you disagree?
Uh-huh.
Would you disagree with me that they support feminism?
I'd say in a general sense, yes. Most people
What does
that
that
would
mean in
check
general
in the
sense?
box.
Certain things that are feminism they don't support, like what?
Huh? I
What
just
do
didn't
you
get you
mean
said.
by in general? Certain things they don't support, like what in feminism?
Yeah, I think that in general, the idea, once again, if you're running up your idea of feminism, then yeah, most people do.
No,
but
no,
I'd
no,
say
no, no.
that
I'm running with your idea. So what in general of feminism they don't
I think
support?
that there are some
In
people.
general.
I think when you say that the left supports feminism, I'd say that yes, I'd say more people left leaning are more open to the idea of quote unquote fairness reparations, right? Or the idea that women should be able to do this and that. But sure, that's fine. But I mean, I know leftists that are relatively anti-abortion. I know leftists that are anti like. You wouldn't call them DAI practices, but I know that's the term that you are already familiar with. So let's call it like that. Like the idea of pushing more women in STEM and stuff. Like I know people that disagree with that idea because they think that the playing ground will lead to an unequal. I think that the idea that you can say that the left supports feminism, I think that if you want to bring up, if you want to say this group of people, a group of people that supports A, B, C, and D, yeah, I'll talk to you about that group of people. But I'm saying that if you say the left, I'm saying that yeah, I can infer what you're talking about, but like the left also includes Che Guevara, like you know what I mean, like actual like murderous psychopaths. Like the left is
I
not a
disagree. There's
group. The
radical
left is
people.
an ideology, and the red pill has formed itself as a group because it's not small by any means, but it relies entirely on the goodwill of brotherhood, right? It relies entirely on this idea that we're special and everyone else is wrong. Compared to the left, where that's just like a political ideology most people would say they're a part of, but they don't even really know what it means. So they're not comparable. They're not even slightly comparable. I think that if you asked 100 like renowned people, they would all say that those are not comparable things. I don't even know why you brought it up in the first place. Like it is
See,
another one of
that's
the
why.
hey, I think that this thing is
Let- let-
wrong,
let-
but
let
what
me know,
about
let
these
me-
guys?
If you, see,
What
this is
about
the
them?
problem. Okay, listen. No, it's not. Well, you could say what
Yeah,
about it?
I'm not being disingenuous. I'm just saying I
You
don't think
are,
that it's a
but
fair
here's the thing where
comparison.
I'm sorry you didn't understand the logic because I'll break it down for you. Okay.
You did break it down, and I disagree.
Well,
That's it.
then okay, fine.
I disagree.
But
I
there
don't
are
think it's a fair comparison, and I don't think that it was necessary to be brought up. That is my position on the matter.
okay.
That's not disingenuous. That's just how I feel, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I do think it is because one of your arguments of red pill, right, is it's radicalism.
Yeah, no, my argument is not that the red pill can turn people radical. My argument is the red pill is inherently radical and relies on a cult-like mentality of we're right, everyone else is wrong. Focus on yourself, king. Only do you. Only do you. Only do you. And we're special. That's what radicalism is, in my opinion. I don't
and
think the
how's
left
that
is like
different from
that
the
by
left?
any means.
How's that different from left-wing politics?
How is it different from
I'm right,
anything?
you're wrong. The left
Okay,
is
how's
right.
it-
I mean, the left is
No, it has nothing
the
to
left
do
is
with that.
wrong. I mean, the left is right.
So, like,
The
let's
right
say
is
this.
wrong. How's that cult mentality?
I'll explain it. I'll explain it.
Go
Because the
for it.
red pill relies very heavily on feelings. The red pill relies heavily on
Feelings?
personal anecdote. If you would like to, I mean, I can explain this.
Go for it.
So when I asked you this, the red pill relies, from what I've seen and from what you've said, it relies in that very heavily on just shitting on other people. Like
How
it relies
stupid.
very heavily
Give me
on
an
the
example.
idea of. Give me an example.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
you watch your own YouTube? Do you watch your own YouTube channel?
What?
Do you watch the videos that you put out, or do you just want to take Jacob and post them?
Give me an example, right? If you're saying that I'm shitting on people, give me an example.
Okay,
You can't
made
just
a
say,
video
"Oh, you're shitting on
maybe
people."
Oh, yeah, this
and
is a good
boom.
example. You made
Go for
you made a short a few weeks ago, that was literally just like a trans dude just speaking, like it was like a political rally. Do you remember this? It was just like a trans guy who was just talking and just doing a very like milquetoast political speech. Please vote for our person. We're going to make change. Didn't bring up anything about transgenderism. Didn't bring about anything about the alphabet community or even like leftist politics in general. It was just like a run of the mill town hall. and you made a 3-minute long video about how transgenders are mentally ill and the alphabet community needs to stop this and blah blah blah.
You said
Like
how long
you
ago? You said
saw
a few
no, but
weeks
I'm
ago?
saying that you saw a person and didn't even respond to the video. You just saw a person and got so, you got fired up by just seeing a person speak. I'm saying that is actually a pretty good example of what I'm trying to convey.
I want to let's put it in context, right? Because you are very
What
vague.
what is the context for that?
I don't know. What did they say?
It was just like a town hall. It had nothing to do with what you were talking about. I assure you of that. It was just it was the end of a political rally. She was probably the organizer. She just walked up and said, "Thanks for coming," and you lost your fucking mind. Like that's my point. You're allowed to have that opinion. It's America. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to say what you said. I'm just saying that it's entirely unproductive, and it doesn't actually. All it does is contribute to the "I'm right, they're wrong" mentality. Because you see something like that, and you go, "Holy fuck, I can't fucking believe it." Compared to me, where I see something that that looks kind of weird. I'm gonna look it up. Like I'm upset at specific circumstances, right? Like I'm not upset at people. I don't see a white person with a Confederate flag and go, they must be racist. I must talk about this for 5 minutes. Like, no, dude. I'd rather go up and get to know the person, or like look at their Twitter and see, oh, have they posted like vaguely racist things? Yes, they have. Well, that makes sense. I'm gonna avoid that person. It has nothing to do with just on site. You can't identify criminals or good people, bad people. You can't identify them on site. I don't see a point to it, right? And I'm saying that the Redpill ideology lends itself to a very like binary system of men are inherently gifted with these goods. These goods that no one else can have, and everyone else needs to bend to the will of them, and we'll allow other people to have power if we chose to do so. And I think that is a dangerous mentality for young people who have, let's be honest, no good looks, no power, no good speaking skills. To tell them that they're inherently special because they have a penis, I think is incredibly detrimental to the idea of how they're going to see life. Because an ugly guy like myself, I mean, I'm all right, but I'm not like good looking. Like if I was told when I was 13 years old that looks are everything, but at the same time you are powerful, so get out there and fix yourself. And I wasn't able to fix myself because you can't change the shape of your nose, right? Like that would make me much more self-conscious of myself than me not hearing these things and just realizing like, hey, you got to play to your strengths. Got to play to your, you're pretty good at talking. You have a good amount of charisma. Lean into that. Don't lean into the looks part of it, right? I found that out on my own. I didn't need someone to tell me. That's my point, DA. You saw a trans person and lost your mind. Like that is identity politics. That's getting triggered. Like that's, and I think that the Redpill lends itself to that space quite easily.
Wow, I find that the hypocrisy of that is insane. Right? To say
that you know what hypocrisy means. You say it often. I don't think
where I find it. See, this is why I find you disingenuous and just very dishonest to say that I don't know what words mean. You constantly do.
But you come up with your own definition. What is hypocritical about?
You constantly try to target my intelligence.
No, right? I think you're a smart guy. I don't think you're a dumb person.
This is why I find you honestly disrespectful, because I don't attack your intelligence at all. I don't ever attack you. Oh, do you know what this word means? Do you know what that means? No. I tried to come at you.
We talked about this
as an equal, right? But you
constantly. The first time I ever talked to you, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll explain it. Let me tell you.
Disrespectful, because you know what?
The first time that we ever talked,
you're not coming at this. You know what? With like respect. But you know what? If he's saying it, he probably believes it. If he's saying it, he probably knows it. Right? You just. It's like.
Can we do a thought exercise quickly? You are a very serendipitous person. You're being very serendipitous right now, DA. Do you know what that word means? I don't know what that word means. Do you know what it means?
No.
Do you know if it's an insult? Do you know if it's a good thing? Do you know if it's a neutral term? No, you don't. So let's figure out what it means before you decide what it means. Like, that's my point. I don't know what it means.
You literally assumed I don't know what the words mean when I said it.
I don't assume you don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means.
No, I'm saying I don't know if you do, because I don't know what was hypocritical about that statement. And you use the word hypocrisy.
See, the thing, you don't let me finish.
You use the word hypocrisy like you just learned it in grade school.
I don't know my point. See, that's the problem, right? When I was talking,
you just laugh and say this is the hypocrisy, like it's like a gotcha. I don't get what.
Because I didn't finish. If you let me finish my argument,
then explain it.
Okay, I would show you hypocrisy. This is
what was hypocritical? What is hypocritical about that? Just tell me then. Tell me. What was hypocritical about that?
No. I mean, this is why when other people come on here. This is why they will argue with you, right? because you come out here like you come out here as like honestly, and I'm fine with it, right? It makes for interesting content. But
Yes, it
this is
does.
the problem with a lot with you when talking to you a lot of times. You come out talking people like you're talking down to them, right? And that is exactly no surprise from your side of the aisle. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I will say it. I do think that I'm right, like
Yeah.
pretty consistently when talking to you, and I look it up afterwards, and it turns out, oh, I am.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of
So
funny.
it's like,
Exactly what you said about cult mindset. I'm wrong. You're right.
no, but I mean, no, the
Literally,
cult mindset is I'm
you have
right,
yet
you're
to prove
wrong because of
anything
an
that you're right
inherent
in.
thing.
You
No,
have
no,
yet
I'm
to
saying that
prove.
I'm right,
You
you're
have
wrong
come
because
on
I looked it
plenty of
up and
times,
got an
right?
answer.
You have come
Tina, these
plenty
are
of
different
times,
things.
literally to disprove. Like I've let you have a voice plenty of times. You don't come on and it's like, oh, you know what? Oh, what you said last time was wrong. This is what's right. You've yet to do
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
really, great. You proved nothing that you're wrong.
My
You
idea
proved nothing
about
that
the
you're right.
cult
So
mindset,
it
the
is
cult
what it
mindset
is.
was me
But
just saying that the idea of I'm right, you're wrong inherently because I am a man. That is a call mindset. I'm
see,
right, you're wrong
and
because I
that's
looked
wrong,
it up
right?
and it turns out a
That
centrifuge was a
shows
lie.
you
That's a lot
that
different.
shows you that you're wrong in the sense that no red pill say that I'm right because I'm a man. No, I'm right because it's logic.
Okay, DA, I'll ask then. Do you think that you are inherently smarter than women because
No,
we are men?
no.
Okay, why, then my next question, why do you think that it's a mistake that women should be able to vote?
Why I think
Do
it's
you
a
think that
mistake
they,
because
yeah,
women
explain.
usually vote on one policies, what right, or they usually vote on identity politics. They usually vote on how they feel.
Okay, where did you get that information from?
I've googled it once. I've googled it once on the topics that women vote for. It usually by either like one specific topic, i.e., like abortion, right?
Well, okay,
Or
specific topics
seen
for
interviews.
them,
Seen
maybe?
interviews. What? Yeah,
Are there specific topics that would benefit them more than others, perchance?
I'm not saying that's wrong or right, but here's the thing:
Mm-hmm. But they
if you
shouldn't be
vote
able to
for just
vote.
based on one particular topic, you don't know what the other crap they would do, right? So you don't weigh your option. You don't weigh the what is it the pros and cons of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If one candidate can raise taxes, can do all this, but oh, you know what? I'm pro-abortion. Like literally, that is stupid.
But once again, I need to just say this. How many
And
women? I mean,
I've said this. I've said this before. I said this is all anybody, right? I don't agree to just strictly women. No. I think a lot of people, a lot of Americans vote on either identity politics, how they feel, one policies, right?
yeah,
They
and you
barely
think that
know the
they
kind of
should.
candidate. So
Okay,
I'm not here saying, I want women to stop voting. No, I
all
think
right,
most people
that's
should stop
fine.
voting.
So talk to me then, DA. I know you didn't vote in the last election. That's fine, but you would say that ideologically you're probably more supporting of Mr. Donald J. Trump than you were of maybe a Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
Can you let's just go with three.
But,
Name
but, but,
three
but,
policies.
wait, wait,
No,
wait.
you're saying that women
I
are
want
single
you
issue
no,
voters. Like what are your
before
things
we
that
get
you
into
would
that, I
support
wanted
Donald
to
Trump on?
before I get into that. Was
No,
this
I
one?
mean,
Was it this video that you were talking about?
yeah,
Okay.
it's so silly.
Let's play it. Let's play it.
I might be a little wrong on what she said, but I don't remember her saying anything about trans radical feminism. Like you found a way to talk about it in the video. You know what happens. I'll mute myself one sec.
Ooh. Did I? What was it up here? Ah, there it is. What the fuck, man? Why is it doing that? YouTube, it's acting weird. The fuck they doing that, man? Oh, there.
Feel safe and easy. And too often we perpetuate that by normal. Feel safe and easy. And too often we perpetuate that by electing candidates who are just going to take us back to normal. We are trapped in a cycle where the Republicans come in and they look to do nothing but destroy and line their own pockets. Democrats, in response, just say, we're going to get back to normal, whatever normal feels like. And that's not good enough. We need leaders with a vision, because normal to most people still causes the problems that we face, whether that's growing wealth inequality, billions without health care, and the disconnect that is between us. It is that promise of America that we need to get to, where we can be better tomorrow than we are today. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure out that Congress is broken. Sending one there might help fix it.
So
Yeah, dude,
this
that's
is
probably
why.
the same script that every Democrat town hall used for the last 20 years. Like, that
Yeah,
is the
I
most
wouldn't. Yeah,
verbose thing. Come on now.
yeah. I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't disagree with it. What I said in my video is the absolute mental instability of someone who is, yes, abnormal, talking about, oh, let's not go back to normal. Right? That's what my argument is. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying that
they're okay.
this is the one, the hypocrisy where Democrats, anyone, whether you that's trying to be elected or not, they will. They're not going to push anything that's special. They're not going to affect change, because I've said this before. Literally, one candidate like Bernie Sanders was going to push change. They didn't even want that. Right? The majority of Democrats voted
Well, that
against
wasn't.
Bernie Sanders. So really, it's
They
like
actually won the primary in many
you
places.
they don't, no matter who goes up to it in the Democratic Party, they're not looking for actual change. They've had under Biden, under Obama, they had plenty of opportunities for actual big changes. They didn't. And again, my
Do you
main
think that
argument
the Affordable
was
Care Act
it
was
is,
a big change?
I didn't. People
You
still
don't think that
complain.
you don't think that, yeah, they complain about it,
People
but do you
still
think that
complaining
you don't think that was a
about.
big change? People still bitch
I
about it
don't.
today, man. I'd say it's a pretty big
Yeah.
change.
So they still complain that
Like, I'm just saying, like,
healthcare is unaffordable, right? They
yeah,
still
because,
complain.
well, they don't have to get into that.
During,
Fair enough. Okay,
during
okay,
Obama,
okay.
during Biden, right? During
That's
Democratic
fine.
rule.
No, we move on with your point. I get what you're saying
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. So
Move on.
again, I said that this is the mental instability, right, of the Democratic Party. You're filled
No.
with
You said,
these people that say a whole lot of shit, don't do anything, and honestly, you're just promoting people that are, in my opinion, mentally ill. Normal would have been a
right.
nice thing. Normal society would be a great thing.
So what
So
is normal to you, DA? Like, do you think that
normal
the
to me
we the
is
people of these United States of America, like, you know, do you think that the all men are created equal? Do you think that is a normal for America?
all men aren't created equal. I mean, under the eyes of the law, all men are created equal. That is normal.
Right. So that's a normal. Okay.
Yes.
So do you think that that person that was giving that speech, do you think that they are included in that?
Yes.
They haven't committed any crime, so they should be equal under the law, right?
Yeah.
So they should really be free to speak at a town hall without having someone like you immediately jump in to criticize them for their appearance
Well, that's
and supposed mental state.
you're
right?
free to speak. You ain't free from criticism. That's
Right,
life,
but you're
right?
critiquing them specifically. I mean, like, you're critiquing them
I'm
specifically
critiquing
because
them,
of like
right? This is the thing
an
where I'm
insinuated
critiquing them on.
idea.
This is who we're promoting in our government, right? Our government should be just like most of society, I believe. Whoever at the top, they should be our best and brightest, right? Or whatever. Because I just find it funny. Right? The Democrats,
You think that
progressives,
Pam
whatever.
Bondi is our best and brightest? Yeah,
I don't, right? But I'm saying I said I'm critical of
come on,
both
man.
sides. We're not promoting
You
our
should
best
be.
and brightest, right?
No, we're not.
I've never said I'm not. I've never
No,
said I'm
I'm
not,
just saying.
right?
No,
So this is the thing where
come on.
I just find it that this is, but I find this is the hypocrisy, right? Where we constantly, and I've had this argument, right? They constantly put down that Trump is stupid. Okay, probably is. Yet, so you want to point out that Trump is stupid, yet you would support people who are mentally ill, who are men thinking that they're women.
See, and you say that.
I just find
you
I
are
find it also idiotic.
I'll explain this. I'll explain it. The DSM, I mean, like the experts, the people who are paid to research, who have spent their entire lives deciding what a mental illness is, does not consider them mentally ill. You do. That's fine. That's an opinion. But for you to say like the hypocrisy of blah 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 blah, I don't think it's hypocrisy because I listen to the people that get paid to decide. Like I see that it's not considered mental illness, so I say, oh, those people aren't mentally ill. They just have a weird affliction. That's fine. right? So you're saying that's like hypocrisy? I don't think it's hypocrisy.
Here,
I think that
Alan,
if
right?
you, once again, if you want to define them as mentally ill on your own, that's fine. You'll always be right. Like, once again, I can do the same thing. Anyone can do that, DA. Like, yeah, if
Okay,
you
no,
want to
no,
say
no,
that they're
no.
mentally ill, that's fine. You'll win every single argument you ever have because
Okay,
you think they're mentally ill, and the people that don't, they must be blah 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 blah. You'll win
so
everything. It's good.
no,
That's my, but
so
that's what I mean by cult
by
mentality.
your logic, no, by your logic, no, no, by your logic, right?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
When scientists, anyone who studies, right,
Very
when they say
confident in it.
something it is, you will always
Uh-huh.
believe it is. That's how you go for,
No,
right? That's
no, not always.
oh,
Not always.
not always.
No,
So
I'm
you
saying
pick
that
and
these are
choose which one.
people, man. Like if the experts
You,
come down from the law and say criminals need to kill your daughter, I mean, of course I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But
that means you can
but saying
see
like, okay,
that's
gender
the thing.
dysmorphia instead of a mental illness is just a mental affliction. I don't think that should be offensive. I think that's fine, and I don't think that that's like a big thing.
Whether it's
You think
fine or
like
not, that's on
like
your individual basis, right?
hypochondriacs and people
See,
with like OCD, like
see,
hypochondriac, that's
like,
not considered a mental illness.
that's why it's fine. It's funny, right? It's like literally you just showed that, you know what? Oh, this, if I don't agree with it, then no, I don't agree with it. Right?
I don't
But this I
disagree with
agree with,
OCD.
it's okay, right? Because
No, it
here's
has
the thing,
nothing
right?
to.
People with multiple
Hey,
personalities, right? People with multiple personalities can be
yes, and they
can be
took
told
these things into account,
said
and
mental
they
illness.
decided that
But
gender dysphoria
people
is not a mental illness.
but that's
That's what
people
they did. You think that
again,
they just
you gotta
decided it one? You think that some guy just like pulled up with a
you gotta look
latte
at
and
this,
was
right?
like, "We
It's funny
gotta
that you
have the
can't
friends."
question everything, right?
The
You
fuck?
don't question. It's like I find it
I
funny
do
that
question,
you
and I found that
no,
these
you don't
people are
question it,
generally
right?
pretty cool. Like I have friends that are like them.
I'm
They're not
again,
mentally ill. They're not
you're
freaking
not
the fuck out all the time. If I had a friend
okay.
with multiple
But,
personality
okay,
disorder and
listen, right?
he
By saying
started
someone
yelling
that
at me because he was Craig now, I'd be like, yeah, that's fucked up. That sucks. Get him
can I,
medication,
can I, can I
figure out what
ask
to
you,
do
right?
with
Someone
him.
like let's say autism, right? Is there a mental illness?
They don't consider
Autism
mental
or
illness in the same way as like depression, right? It's just like
no?
it
But I'm
falls
not.
on well, autism spectrum disorder. They consider it a different thing.
Yes, but see, this is the thing where those
It's a different
all of
thing.
these are forms of mental illness, right?
No,
Right?
they're
All these are
not.
forms of mental
They're
illness.
forms of mental illness in your definition, but in the definition of experts, no. And I go off the expert's definition. I don't go off DA's definition. When I read things, there's no footnote at the end of the page saying the devil's advocate on YouTube disagrees with this. Like there's nothing, right? So I'm saying like when I read a study and you just tend to disagree with the wording of it, unfortunately, I'm going to probably go off the wording of the 4,000 fucking scientists that went into doing the study compared to one guy on YouTube. So if we want to
Okay, I
argue
mean,
semantics over definitions, like you'll always be right. I don't do that
okay,
because I
then
don't want to be disingenuous. I don't want to make shit up. I want to look at things that actual people get paid to do. I look at them, I go, that makes sense to me. Or, oh, I don't really like that article. Or I didn't really like the conclusion they came to. But either way, I'm not thinking about what you think the definition of it is. Do you get what I'm saying?
no, that's fine. That's fine. So
You hear what okay.
no, like it's fine if you. I mean, it is. You're right in the sense that if you don't agree with my definition, which is fine. I'm not saying that it's wrong, right? If you don't agree with
I'm
it,
saying
you want to go.
I'm saying that when
get
I
it.
come here, you call me
But no,
disingenuous, but when I come
again,
here, I use consensus, I use numbers, I use things that people have poured hundreds of hours into, and you refute them with, oh, but my definition is different that I came up with in my head. Right? And like, yeah, that's a fine argument, but you're never going to lose an argument. This is what I mean by cult mentality.
Right? I hope that
this is what I mean by cult
see,
mentality, DA.
I hope that you see the hypocrisy where there are plenty in the red pill space where people do use hundreds of hours putting these these studies and statistics
I'm talking
that
to you specifically right now,
no,
DA.
I'm just saying that, like no, but this is the argument you use, right? You're using the exact same argument, right? You're using that. Okay, you know what? Oh, you know what? I believe this because people hundreds of hours. Okay, great. But then your main argument is that, you know what? Red pill is this, right?
Well,
Red
my
pill
other
is wrong,
argument is that I think that the red pill tends to lie quite often. That was another one of my bullet points.
I mean, like
they really like lying about things. Like they're a really big fan of just making shit up, which is, not really doesn't really bode well for the on the fence fella with like critical thinking skills. It's really good for a teenager.
Example.
You
can't say vague shit and just say that's good enough.
You want me to? No, is that what you meant? Oh, okay, yeah. So like the Red Pill documentary, I watched it. It's not very good in my opinion. It's just like kind of shoddily made. I think you should check it out. Like, I think it is interesting, especially for, I mean, this was like the birthplace of your ideology. I mean, it's where the word comes from. I'm surprised you haven't seen it at this point. It came out, I mean, like, over a decade ago. It's pretty old. But this is like the birthplace of it. I watched it. One of the things that they start talking about is this idea of the I'll try to make this quick because it's not particularly interesting, and it's disproven by one Google search. It's such a non-point. The idea between male and female like school graduation rates, right? And this lady like makes this thing saying like, this amount of this number of boys graduate high school when this number of girls graduate high school, and it's like, they say that it's a 30% increase. Wow, that sounds like a big deal. 30% more people in the female side graduate? That's crazy. No, it isn't. It's really not. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I just remember seeing this and looking it up, and it was like it was such an absurdity thing. 30% increase can mean anything because if the number like from 1 to 1.3 is a 30% increase, the same way from 1 to 30 is a 30% increase depending on what the scale you're using, right? I said that really shittily, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the idea that men are languishing behind women sounds a lot better when you use the 30% trick than saying that it was 15.5% compared to 16.1%. And I saw that and I was just like, why would they have to even use like that trick? Like, what would even be the point? They can just put the numbers up. And then I realized that a good amount of it relies on the goodwill of the brotherhood to just take shit at face value and not look it up, which is, I think, odd for a community that prides itself on facts and logic. Having to hide behind like speech tactics to get support on something is an odd thing. It's an odd thing to me. Like, right? The idea of like, the whole male domestic violence thing. It's like females commit, emotional violence 80% of the time or whatever. That's fine. I'm not refuting that claim, but I found it odd that in the movie they brought that up, but they didn't bring up the statistics saying that most people that get put in the hospital because of domestic violence, physical, hands-on, I beat the shit out of my partner the other night, it's like 75% female. They don't want to bring that up. They didn't put that in the movie because if they put that in the movie, it would make men look bad. So they didn't, right? Like, that is disingenuous. And that is another thing that makes the red pill look odd to me. Like the constant whataboutisms of, but what about, this? That's fine. But
okay,
omitting these big things to make themselves look better, once again, for apparently the community of logic and facts and accountability, it's an odd strategy. It seems more like a recruitment tactic than it is actually getting out the truth. And, and they're doing very good.
Here's my thing where I don't disagree that, having good, clear facts is a good thing, right? Good, clear numbers is a good thing. I agree. But it is 100% true that boys are graduating less. It is 100% true that, men do receive violence, the DV, right? Either emotional or physical. It's 100% true. Here's my thing where how I look at it, right? Like I said, I agree.
Do you think that
being more,
in that survey that came out,
right? Let me finish what I'm saying.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
So I said it, right? I agree that having a more clear numbers is a good thing, right? So you don't need to make it a disparity, right? So you don't need to make it extreme, like, oh my God, they're like 100% men are being whatever, right? You don't need to do that. I'd rather feel like, what, men are suffering, whether it's a little bit, whether it's a lot, men are suffering. That's a true fact. So but one thing I do, like I said, I agree with your with your statement, but I look at it this where it is needed to say that yes, men do suffer from lower graduation rate, lower education, boys, and men do suffer from violence. So it is.
I agree.
I don't know how bad. I don't know how bad you mean it. Is that if men listen to this and they find it like, oh, that is a concern. I don't know how you think it's radicalized. Oh my God!
My point is that because I'll explain. I'll explain quickly. My point is that if I tell you that, like, if I came to you, if I walked up to you and said, "Did you know that a dog killed a rat in this neighborhood? He killed or mouse or something. He killed it and he tore it apart and he brought it to my doorstep and I just can't believe it. This dog is crazy. And you know that there's like a ton of dogs in this neighborhood. I can't believe it. Yeah, well, oh my God, the dog must be a big problem." Oh no, like you'd be freaked out about dogs. If I walked up to you and said, one dog killed a mouse last night and 50 cats did the exact same fucking thing over the month, that's a big difference, right? If I leave out the cats part, you're only going to be scared of dogs. But if I say dogs and cats both did this, dogs did it at a lesser rate, granted, you'd be like, oh, well, cats seem to be more of the problem here. So if you leave out the actual, like, if you only say in a documentary, supposedly the birthplace of an ideology, that men are abused, and you completely leave out the fact that they do a whole bunch more of the smashing, it's a disingenuous light. It paints men as this big victim when, and honestly, it's a lot more comparable. And if they're not willing to have that conversation, it seems like it's more of a recruitment tactic to buy things than it is to actually, enlighten them and give them facts and logic.
Okay, let me test your logic then. Let me test your logic. So,
sure, dude.
Okay. Do you know the rate? How many let's say police violence against black people are?
Off the top of my head, well, what is that counting as? Does that mean is it like police brutality found later, or does it mean like a guy tried to run and I tackled him?
Just police. Like, let's say police killings, right, of black people.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. Killing is pretty easily defined.
Yeah. What would you guess?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't have the top of my head. I don't know what number you're getting this from either. Just tell me, dude.
Okay. It's I think it was about 300. Right. Last I checked. So I could, like I said, I want preference. It could be higher, could be lower. Last I checked. Right. Mm-hmm. While let's say black on black violence, right, is, I don't know, every year is probably about 10,000 or so. Okay.
That's big. Okay, that's a big number.
It is.
Is that true? Is that true? 10,000 black
people.
Like
I said, I mean, it's around a no. So it's I'm quite.
Okay, I'll go with it. I don't even care if that's true. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, go for it. Okay.
So what? So do you believe that, you know what? We should not care about, let's say, the police violence, right? The police killing, and we should just only focus on, you know what, the black on black crimes. The black.
No, of course not. My analogy was also for you to be worried about the dog. For you to look at the dog and say, "Oh, that's the dog that killed the mouse the other night. I'm going to keep my pet mouse away from it." No, yes, I would focus on both.
You have to have the assumption that men don't care, right? You have to have the assumption that, okay, you know what, men only care about if violence happened to them. They don't care if violence happened to women.
Right? No, I don't think that's at all. I think that the people that make these stats are being like obviously dishonest to have you buy things from them. And use this idea of the cult mentality of
in a capitalistic world. I don't care. It's part of capitalism. I don't give a shit if you have to buy it.
I'm saying that you champion often are always selling some mug or some fucking supplement on the end of their channel. Right? I mean, it is for profit.
Yeah, I think it's grifting. I don't disagree. I don't agree to it. But this is
right. But if they're using dishonest statistics to get there, it's more of a recruitment tactic than actually facts and logic.
No, it is a fact that boys are graduating less. It is a fact that men do receive.
Yes, but it's not like, but the way that they presented it, this lady called it, boys are languishing academic. This is a direct quote from a PragerU video from one of those like anti-feminist women that they have on.
I don't know. I even use, like, let's say, I mean, I'm not saying it's the best source, but I even use Google, right? Gemini.
Yeah.
Literally, they said
don't use Gemini. Gemini is wrong often, lower rate. For the record.
Huh?
Don't use Gemini. Gemini is wrong often.
Again,
I'm just saying, just in general, dude, do not use Gemini. Gemini is bad.
No. But what I'm pointing at, right?
No, I'm listening.
Even as they say significantly lower rates. Those words are powerful as well. So I can't understand. I could understand that, but like I could understand what you're trying to go for. I get it. But
yeah,
but
it makes fucking sense to you.
Huh?
It makes a lot of sense. I'm just saying, like, this is going to be like a political divide. This is just like how
that should be.
But a lot less can either mean, if you're saying millions of people, then yes, it's a lot less. But if you're going to put in a statistic,
but it is millions of people. It is millions of boys not graduating. Right?
Yes.
You got to think these stats are nationwide, so it's millions.
That's fine, and I'm saying that you can present it in any way what you want, and I would say that if they presented it. This many girls graduated in 2020, whatever. This many boys graduated in 2020, ever. Make your own opinion on that, because I just gave you two numbers that aren't politicized. These are just the numbers. You can come to your own conclusion. I would be like, yeah, this really is like the group of like facts and logic. I should listen to them a lot more than just here's a fucking statistic moving on,
Boys are
right?
suffering,
Like that's my point.
terrible. And saying that, okay, boys are
This
suffering.
is just one of my points. I'm just saying I don't
I'm
think
just-
that
but
boys are
that-
suffering
see
from
that
it,
point.
though.
Let's see.
Languishing
Look at this, right?
academically. I don't think that that's true.
How you view that point is exactly why the importance, right? The importance of men's spaces, of men's content, because you know what? We want to make it a point, right? I've said this before. I mean, I'm not saying
But
that's
it's not,
like
but
everyone.
it is
Listen,
mostly
let me
relying
talk,
on
please.
grades,
Listen,
though.
Tom,
It doesn't
right?
have
Let me
anything to
talk.
do with circumstance.
Let me talk.
Sure, go for it. Sorry.
I'm not saying that, you know what, I'm not saying that there aren't bad apples, but I would say that this is the point of men's spaces where they're saying that, like, it doesn't mean that, oh, women don't receive violence. But here's the thing: you have to think about it in the larger scheme, where mainstream we talk about shit that happens. We either talk about shit that happens to women or we talk about bad men, right? That is usually mainstream. Where like
It bleeds, it leads.
men's content, right, is that, you know what, we're not. I believe, right, personal opinion, right. I don't believe. I believe that we don't say that. Okay, women shit don't happen to women. No, but you know what? People talk about shit happen to women all the time.
I agree,
No one
but I
talks
am
about
a
shit happening
man.
to men. So saying that, you know what, young boys are suffering significantly, it's not outrageous. Saying that, you know what, violence do happen to men, when honestly, if I don't, this is why I say you're disingenuous, right? Because as the mainstream argument, we talk more about violence happening to women, which I said it's fine, right? I agree, a lot of shit happens to women, but the problem is that we don't talk at all about what happens to men, right? We don't talk about all. Hell, if it's not because of like I don't know, certain niche men's content, you wouldn't listen, you wouldn't hear the suffering of young boys like that. In my opinion, right? At least
Sure,
on my
yeah.
FYP,
Well,
I wouldn't hear that.
alright,
So this is the
that's
point
fair.
where this is why I find it like you come into a lens where you already are negative, in the sense that, you know what, I come into a lens, and like I said,
I
don't
am a
disagree.
man,
Maybe
dude. I'm
maybe
not
some
waking
men that
up
listen
every
to this
morning
will
and being
become
like, I
radical.
can't wait for
But
women
where
to take over. Like,
but
no,
where
my
I look
opinion
at it
is
is that,
I,
you know
as a
what, I
man,
listen to that, you know
I
what,
don't think it's that big of a deal.
see, that's
I don't think
the
that a
problem
million
too,
less
right?
boys graduating
I
due
think
to
it
their
is a
own
big deal.
lack of grades is a big deal. I am
I
a
do.
man. I did graduate. I put the work in. A dude that's 16
again,
who decides to drop out because he wants to go work on the farm, I'm not going to put him in this like the same statistic as the girl who got rejected for being a girl. Not that that happens, but you get what I'm saying. Like those are different things. Like these are different. Like it's different context. And I'm saying that if the
yeah, but using your
men's
own context. Look, this is the thing where you're
I'm
not
just
using it,
saying,
right?
I
No,
look at
listen,
two
these are
varying
boys, right? They're not
statistics.
graduating. They're staying
I don't even
home.
want
They
to
have
talk
no
about that.
purpose in life. They're not working. They're not going to a farm. They're not doing shit. They're not doing
Yeah,
nothing.
that's what I'm saying. I just
They're
made that up.
dejected, right? They have no purpose in life. They have no will to do anything. They either game, smoke, or just fucking be losers
Yes,
at home.
and that's bad. But do you really think that blaming women for all of the problems and
Of course,
completely
seriously,
disregarding the idea
this is
that
my
women
problem
also
with it.
are
Where's
suffering the same
blaming the
problem?
women in it? Right? Let's say this: the part where like the boys are graduating significantly less. Where's the blame of women?
There's that's not the point. It's the blame against like the system, the woke mindset. The boys are getting left behind while the women are getting up there and getting going, and they're getting all the media attention and da. Dude, men had fucking 10,000 years to be the kings, to be the people that decided if women can get divorced, decided if women can get married.
God,
They had
see,
so fucking long. I'm
see,
saying
you
that
so
I'm
if men had
saying
10,000 years, you think all men were like top
no, of
kings?
course not. No, of course not. That's not my
Like,
point. I'm
this is
saying no. Okay, that was a bad example.
no, you did. I love what you
Motion to
did,
strike
right?
that from
I love
motion to
what you
strike that from
did
the
because
record. I
that's
know
the
what you're
point.
doing. Fuck
I
me.
love what you did because that's the point, right? People like you have the mindset that okay, patriarchy. Oh,
No,
men
that's
are
not my
men.
mindset.
Men
I
were
just said
men.
a thing. That's you
Came out
can
of your
argue
mouth,
with
not
the thing I
mine.
said. All right,
Came
you
out
can
of your
argue.
mouth,
All
not
right, yes,
mine,
sir.
right?
Go for it, dude. I'm
Men
mute
were
myself.
suffering along with everyone else, right? Stop complaining that. Stop
Not on
making
the same level, though.
the mindset that
We
okay,
can admit
if
that.
top
Okay,
men
so
were succeeding, all men were succeeding.
no, I'm not
Most
saying that at all. That's
majority
an
of men were
absurd
suffering.
statement. That is
90%
an
of men
absurd
were
statement.
suffering.
Yes,
Right? So,
I'm
but
not
it
disagreeing
came
with
out of your
you.
mouth, not mine.
No, and I'm saying that it was a incredibly hyperbolic statement that I want to retract from the record because I'll get into it with a little bit more poise and
I love that. No, I love
specificity if
that you
you'd like
said
me
it
to.
because no, I love that you
No,
said it because
I'll actually
if
just yeah,
anyone,
you love that I said it because
anyone,
it's a straw man argument that most liberals say. I will get into why I believe that if you'd like me to. I think it's a little harder to track from. Like I'm saying, like you guys, another really big point that was in that documentary, and we brought this up last week. I don't think we're ever going to make headway on this because Jesus fucking Christ, the draft, the idea of the draft, and this lack of bodily
No,
autonomy.
that was
Oh,
them.
it's so
I didn't mean
scary.
that.
The
I
draft.
don't care about that. I
You don't
agree.
care?
I
Oh, it was
agree.
just Jay. Okay,
That
so
was
that's fair.
that was Jay. I don't agree with that.
Okay, then
Because
fair enough.
I
Because I
also
think
think
that
that it's I don't think I mean it could happen. I'm not saying that's impossible. I think that is a fear.
yeah, I don't think it's possible either.
That's not my basis for
But I'm just saying that was a big part of the
why women should
fucking
not vote.
documentary. That and this other part that I think is interesting, the idea that like men have to sacrifice themselves while the women get to stay home all cozy. It's like the women didn't decide that shit. I mean, like if it was a like matriarchal society for the past 300 years, and then World War II happened, and all the dudes got drafted while the women had to stay behind and work in factories. Holy fuck, how comfortable is that? Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, that's a little unfair. I'm not a big fan of that. That's weird. But I mean, like, it wasn't. It was a
Well,
it was a it
again,
was a society
you're
created by men
hyperbolic.
for men. It was a
You're
society by
hyperbolic.
rich men created for rich men who
I
decided
agree.
that poor men are going to go fight for them. I don't think that that's the fault of the woman. When the red
The-
pill really tries to bring it out as some like inherent inequality that we should fight, it's a culture war. We should fight women on this issue. No, we should fight the people in power that decided it, which
I think
unfortunately usually are men, and no one wants to talk about that in the red pill community because they want to make all men look like good guys. They want to make men feel safe and protected, and that we're the victims and everyone else is just nonsense. Fuck that noise. And so they don't want to get to the root of the problem. They rather just put up that fucking statistic. Oh, the draft, and let's move on. And I'm saying that a lot of people do that compared to if they said, hey, the draft still exists, that kind of sucks. Women aren't in the draft. That's a weird thing. Let's talk about it. But, let's look at the context of the draft was instated and blah, 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 blah. They don't do that because the root of it always comes down to a white fucking honky, some rich honky in 1820 creating a policy. And no one wants to talk about that because that is most of the audience and it'll make them feel bad about themselves to say that. So they just leave it out and hope that no one looks it up. That is the actual definition of disingenuousness, DA. I'm not disingenuous when I come up here and talk to you. I come up here with full honesty. I don't lie about things. I don't make shit up. I come up here to talk to you. I try to figure out what you're saying. Just because I disagree with you and think that it's a silly argument doesn't mean it's disingenuous. Completely leaving out entire history of thing and just being like, isn't that so unfair? That's disingenuous. Because they're relying on the lowest common denominator for support and money. And the red pill, unfortunately, really caters to the lowest common denominator, the person that doesn't want to do the research. They're just going to listen to a fucking Myron Gaines or someone like that do it for them, even though they could just be lying. Who knows? When I watch a video from like a left-leaning YouTuber, I typically cite their sources, which
say
is
more
cool.
and more. Let me. You're not letting me. You're saying more and more. You're not letting me
Okay,
respond.
that's fair. Sorry. Yeah, you go respond. But that's my biggest point, dude. They cater to that sort of thinking.
Great. This is why I do the whataboutism, right? This is why I say you're disingenuous because literally your argument, your argument. This is why I say you're dishonest and disingenuous because your argument is like, let's say something I would say about the left, about Democrats, about progressives, because they would cater to the lower, people who don't look into things. Right, I'm not saying you. Right, let's take it out from you personally or your sphere. Plenty of people like that. Right, there's plenty. This is why I say you're disingenuous because every argument you say, and we said this throughout this whole live. Right, so you guys make your own decision. Right, you guys view what you guys think.
You're saying it. So you're saying it. I've never called you disingenuous. I think you for real believe this shit. I think you actually believe these things, which I think is silly. But like you for real are fighting for this. I gotta give you props for it, dude. I'm never gonna call you disingenuous.
Yeah, you just call me stupid.
No, I didn't. When did I call you stupid? I didn't call you stupid.
I don't understand words is literally.
No, it's not that I don't. English is the fucking hardest language on the planet. It's not that I don't.
I'm not using like.
Dude, I'm saying, if you used a word and I was like, do you know what that word means? And you were like, not really. I wouldn't make fun of you for it unless you were using that as a like ad hominem against me, in which case you were.
This is why I find
you ad homed me with a word and I asked you to find the word and you got annoyed by that. So I don't think that's disingenuous or calling you stupid. I think you probably know what the word is, but you used it to attack my character. So I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page about what that word means. And let's circle back to that. What does hypocrisy mean to you? Because you use it as like an insult to me. So what does it mean? Like, what were you saying that I'm doing?
Okay.
Like, why? How am I hypocritical?
Okay, when you say things, it counteracts the other things you say. Right. So let's say, for example, you said, right, how the right radicalized people, right? They radicalize people.
I was saying that red
Literally.
pill is
Okay.
radicalized.
I'm sorry. Yeah. The red pill, not the right. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Red pill radicalize people.
Yes.
But if that is your main, I'm not saying that's the only thing, right? But if that's the main criticism of red pill,
Sure.
that criticism should apply to every ideology.
Yes,
Yet
I will
you
apply
don't.
it. I'll apply it. Okay, I'll
But
apply it then. I
you,
think that the
but
people
you
that shot
realize,
at the president are evil. I think that the people that shot Charlie Kirk are evil. I think that any partisan violence coming from the left is completely dishonorable. I think that they should be immediately rejected from the party. I don't think we should listen to them. I don't think they have valid opinions. I think anyone calling for the death of the president is a fucking wacko. And I think that, like, yeah, I guess they're going to vote for the guy that I want, but I don't want their support. Unfortunately, the right really doesn't do that often. They're fine with Nick Fuentes giving them votes. They're fine with neo-Nazis showing up at their rallies. That is not hypocrisy. That is a level-headed statement, I think, that I've created in my head. Right?
no.
That's not hypocrisy, dude.
Here's
And
my-
also, I was
let's-
saying
let's-
that I was saying that the red pill is radicalization. It is as a concept. And me saying that I don't think the left
give me an
radicalizes is
example of that.
evil.
What I mean, why? It's like
This
so.
is what I'm,
to
that's what I've
believe
been
that,
saying the whole time.
no, because you're really not giving an
Not right,
example.
okay,
So,
but I'm not saying radicalization as in like someone's gonna go shoot someone. That's not what I mean by radical. I mean radicalization in my mind. When I say that, I'm talking mostly about pushing so far into an ideology that every other ideology is completely beneath them in their own mind. Right? That's what I mean by radicalization. Even if I came up and like my point is, radicalization of a hot dog enjoyer is getting so far to a point where if I walked up and said, "Hey, have a hamburger," he'd slap it out of my hand and be like, "I'm never touching hamburger again." That's radicalization, right? Like you can be a hot dog enjoyer and still. That's what I mean.
Okay. Well, you know what? Okay. I mean, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you clarify what you mean by radicalization in this context. Then let me give you a thing where I think it's fine. I think it's good. So why do I think that? Right. So we were talking about this where I believe red pill is the I guess descriptor of reality. Okay. So to radicalize, to believe something truly, I think most men should believe that most women want men of a certain height. I think that's perfectly fine that most men believe that to the extreme. Yeah. But
Okay.
I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's
Yeah, I think that's like a
that's
fine
not
thing
a
to think. I think it's mean. I think it's just inherently mean to the short king. I am a short king. I'm 5'8", baby. I've been called a short king by a woman, and it made me feel really bad about myself. I was like 19. This like girl walked up to me. She was kind of tall, and she was like, "Oh, you're so sweet. We need our short kings in this world." Fucking devastated me, dude.
yeah, I don't
And
like
it
the
like
short
for real bothered me
king.
for a minute, and then I remembered that it doesn't matter. Like I stopped thinking about it. Like I don't know. I don't think I've really even thought about my height in months. But I'm saying that that's a fine thing to tell someone. Like, hey, by the way, women are really, they're mostly they're into height in a good amount of a way. I'm not even saying that's wrong, but I'm saying that hammering that into someone's head that is short is just going to make them self-conscious and bitter in the end, usually
but
leading
this-
to
but this is
hating the women instead of the
No.
circumstance.
See, this is the problem,
Yes.
right? No, listen, right? This is the problem where
That's my argument. I mean,
I want
disagree
you
with
to,
it.
like, Alan, right? I really want you to grasp red pill well, right? Whether you agree or disagree, it's up to you. I don't give a shit. But I want you to grasp red pill well, right? Let's say I'm not saying Fresh and Fit should be the example of red pill, but let's say that because you probably know them more than anything. Yes, they would say, but I agree. They would say that, you know what? Women in general, majority of women want men that are 6 feet plus. Okay.
Yeah.
But same token, you know what? It is what it is. They say that plenty of times. You know what you do? Focus on your game. Focus on your mindset, your personality, your wealth, your body. So if you listen, let's say
women are stupid for thinking that way.
Let me finish my
That's
argument.
a big tail end that you're leaving out of your
It's
elevator
not.
pitch.
Let me finish the thing, right? Then you.
I know. I'm just saying.
Right. So this is the thing where if you have a social, and again, you're young, so I could understand it. When you have a social media brain, right, where you know what? Oh, they said, you know what? Only women only want, or women only want tall men. Cut it there. Instead of, you know what? And I've seen hours of their content too, where they said, you know what, here, let me help you gain your money up. Right? I seen them. You know, are you a fat fuck? Well, you know what? Get into that gym. Right? You don't know how to talk to women. You know what? Get a tutor, get a mentor. You know, learn how to talk to women. Right? This is the thing where I don't disagree how social media works. It's very pushing the clickbaity titles, which I do that sometimes, or the clickbaity part of a clip, whatever. I get that.
Yeah.
This is the problem with a lot of people where if you truly radicalize, that means you dig in deep to all the content. The problem is I don't think they're actually truly radicalized. I just think they're stupid people. Right?
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
That's just they're stupid people on the right, the left, red pill, feminism, everything. Where they listen to one thing and they only gravitate to one thing. I don't necessarily, if in the context we're talking about or radicalized, I don't think they're actually radicalized. I just think they're stupid, right? And you could say Sneeko as one of them, right? Where he could gravitate to one topic and just fucking stick to that one topic and make that his whole personality, make his whole life. And I think, yes, a lot of men, there's studies on it. A lot of men are stupid, right? I think there are more smart men than women, but there are more stupid men than women, right? So,
that doesn't work. How does that work? Wait, there's more smart men than women, but there's more stupid men than women?
Yeah, there's a study out there, right? Look it up. There's a study where
did they base people on stupid?
IQ.
Like a colloquial term. That doesn't even make sense.
They base people on IQ, right?
IQ actually. For the record, this is another thing that I hear, like the low IQ. That's another red pill thing, by the way. I realize that it comes out of like the very like the more fringe, I suppose. But like the whole idea, like you've seen these comments, like low IQ individual. That's like a red pill manosphere thing. For the record, IQ does not measure smartness. There's no test on the planet that measures smartness. IQ is just like pattern recognition. It's meant for like which like a lot of people do tend to equate to the idea of like logical reasoning, etc. But like you can study for an IQ test. If you're able to study for something, you shouldn't be able to use it as a criteria for how smart you are. You feel me?
Again, I don't disagree, right? A degree doesn't make you smart.
I'm just saying IQ tests are really like not that important, even though it's become a big thing in your guys' circle. In my opinion, it's not very neat.
Right? I mean, like to say, I'm not saying that someone who has a high IQ is necessarily someone that's that's I don't know, stupid, right? It's like
you brought it up. I'm just saying.
No, but why I brought it up is like like I said, there are plenty of stupid men out there, right?
Sure.
So if there's plenty of stupid men out there, logically would be assumed that what they would not take things in the right way. They would not use.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay.
So this is why I will always say this, right? Why I say your logic is disingenuous or dishonest. Excuse me.
Your shoes.
Is that I find it funny that we don't make any other group of people a monolith, right? You don't say all black people are criminals, all women are, I don't know, fucking thoughts or whatever, right? But yet we would when it comes to men, we don't mind using a men as a monolith, right? Right? Or let's say when it comes to let's
talk about that,
right? I think that's why I think it's disingenuous. We both can agree that there's radical people in every situation. I don't think an ideology, it's in and of itself, is radical, right? I just think that how people use it, they can poison. Like I've used the analogy before with exercising, right? It's just it's just a hypothetical. It's a Bible, right? It's just a Bible. So we know through history, plenty of people have used that Bible, right or wrong, for terrible things, right? And they've done terrible, terrible things thanks to the word of God or supposedly the word of God. So it's at the end of the day, it's human beings. Human beings, we are weird, we are stupid, we are like that. So I can't blame. I don't blame the ideology itself. I rather go through the individual, right? If like if some leftists, which is great that you call them out. Yeah, if some leftists want to shoot the president, want to do that, I blame that person, right? I don't necessarily blame all leftists. And I've said this before, right? When I critique the left or Democrats, I said, you know what? Maybe it's my FYP, right? I've said this before because you counter a lot of my arguments.
To speak to you about that.
So I give you props on that, right? You definitely counter a lot of ideologies that I have of the left, and this is why this is why I'm great that you're on, because you give me a better perspective, right? But I've said I do which I always say this, right? I think most people, if I would say I'm critical of the right, one thing I wish the right would push more is that just don't completely listen to any one person, right? Don't completely agree with any one person. Critically think.
I agree.
Me personally, I believe that they're doing it, but yes, they're not necessarily verbally doing it, right? So that is probably my main criticism, where they don't put out kind of a disclaimer saying that, yo, think about it critically yourself, right? I'm saying this, you got to think it yourself. So I would say that, but
That's what,
yeah,
and I agree, man. I'm totally with everything you just said. I'm pretty much with you. I mean, yes, men are seen as a monolith, but I think that, and we might disagree on this, but I think that unfortunately, like we kind of made it ourselves, like putting ourselves in this idea that like we're inherently this or inherently this or inherently this over, you know, the fairer sex. Like I think set us up
give me
for
an
failure
example.
when.
Stop. You gotta be more vague so I could be able
Oh,
to
like
say something.
well, the excuse for why, like women shouldn't have access to personal bank accounts. Like for the longest time, the excuse was they are much less, much less better. They're worse. I tripped up on my words. The excuse was that they are inherently worse with money. They're worse with numbers inherently, and that they're just going to spend all of your hard-earned money on a bunch of bullshit. So you should have full control of it, right? Okay, fine. That's a fine idea. And then when they got control of it, turns out women actually are better at math than men in a lot of ways. Turns out women actually save money more than the average man. They gamble less, they drink less, they smoke less, right? So it's like once they were given that power, oh fuck, our excuse wasn't right. Then it seems like we kind of set ourselves up, right? So like when men for 400 years were saying we're better at math, and then when it turns out women actually are on average better than math when they're given the chance to actually test it, like we set ourselves up for failure on that. So like a woman saying like haha losers, like that doesn't really offend me. It doesn't offend me personally because it's like, well, yeah, like fair enough, dude, you got us. Same thing with like, you know, like race stuff. Like I don't get offended.
Let's not move on. I want to talk about that. So
No,
let's
you
not
know,
move
I'm
on.
just saying like the example. I'm just saying like in any of the contexts. Like I don't get offended because
I wonder
fair
rebuttal
enough,
these
you
examples.
got us.
I want to rebut other examples. Now, I don't disagree that, you know, yeah, men can be stupid with that, right? I agree. But
Sure.
I think one, we both said it, right? It's not men, it's a small select of men. Men in general didn't
Yeah, no, but we're
determine
talking
society,
people with
right?
penises.
Again, yeah, with
So
me,
this whole thing. Yeah.
my problem is that I hate that, right? I really dislike that, right? I really dislike that we compare one, we use a minority of men to just say majority of men, because I agree, right? Majority of people are followers, right?
No, but on
Majority of
average.
people are followers. So I think men followed. That's just it, right? So men
Mhm.
didn't revolt against it. Men just followed. So again, men didn't say that men didn't say women can't have things, right? Men didn't do it. A select few men, other men just fine with it. But here's the thing: where also you got to think, right? How society was built. Women didn't have bank accounts, but women didn't incur debt. Men incurred it. So women were spending men's money. Men are fine with that. Women are incurring debt.
No, but
Women are using debt that men had to incur, their husbands.
Mhm.
So it's just, this is the thing where it's within context, right? It's not like, oh my God,
Mhm.
women can't have banks. They actually, technically they could, but they don't have no job, no work history. So they have
Right.
no credit, right?
We
So
call that
the
mobility.
system didn't,
The word for that is mobility.
yeah, but
So
this is
I
the
mean, yeah,
thing.
women didn't have mobility. I'm just saying, like, we can
Yeah,
talk about that.
but again, this is the thing where there's a bit of context to it, an understandable context, right? So that's my thing with it. I'm not saying that I've never heard of
That's not
any
the
men,
point.
right, in general saying, oh, women should never have bank accounts. So this is,
I've
I want
heard
to point it out
three
because
dudes in the last 3 weeks on my new specially created Redpill YouTube channel or like YouTube account that have said like, men, you should always handle your bank accounts. You should give your wife an allowance. Your wife only deserves an allowance. If she wants to take the car, you need to allocate. Yeah, I've heard it a million times. For
that's a
real,
little
I'm not even
different, right?
kidding you. I'm being
That's a little
so fucking for real with you.
different. No.
It's just
I'm
a
not.
neo
You're
version
probably
of that
true. I'm not
idea.
saying you're not true, right? I think that's a little different. Where I think yes, a man that's a leader, a man that's taking charge, a man that provides for his family, yes, he
Right.
should be in charge of his finances. He should be in charge of the
That's the
finances.
same mindset that they were using 50 years ago, man.
But it's
Except
not.
then they could also just
No, wait, you know
outright
what the
say
difference?
women
No,
are
you know
dumber
what
than
the
men.
difference
They
is,
can't
right?
do that anymore.
No, listen, right? You know what the difference is? Women don't have
Yeah.
to rely on him. Women don't have to rely on any man. That's the difference, right? And I love that, right? I love that women have freedom. This is
how do
where
you
I
and that
never would
thing
say
and that
take
happens?
away
Okay,
people's
I'm
freedom,
listening. Sorry.
right? I would
Yeah.
never say take away people's freedoms because I love that people have the freedom of choice. So any man that said, you know what, no, I'm controlling the finances, which I believe men should, because I believe men to provide. I believe men that provide should control the finances. I believe the one that provides control the finances, make the rules. So if you want partnerships, that's how you should go about it. If you want providership, that's how you should go about it. Now, women have the choice to not go for that. Right? They have the choice. That is the thing. So all these, let's say all the things you could have an argument, the red pill never say that women have no choice, right? In today's day and age, this is
No,
why I
they just
love red
consider
pill
they
in
just
today's day and
demean them
age.
constantly.
This is why I love red pill in today's day and age. Women have 100% choice in the men they choose. No man, right? Whether you think he's, which I really wish that we could talk about misogyny, but it's been long, so probably won't get to that. But still,
Sure.
whatever
Actually, we can talk about that.
criticism you
I think
have,
at this point, it's kind of.
well,
What
okay,
do you
we
when you want to talk
can
about misogyny? What do
maybe
you mean? Are you going to talk about the definition of
dive
misogyny?
in a little bit of it, right? The hate and
Yeah.
discrimination
Okay.
of women.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, but well, let me finish the argument where I just want to say
Mhm.
that
Sorry,
we
man.
we were digging with misogyny for a little bit because I don't want to have
That's
you all
fine.
night.
My bad.
Right?
I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
But
That was my bad.
yes, why I love today, right? Where it's a big context to, let's say, red pill and stuff. Women choose. Men just talk about women's choices, right? Red pill is not controlling of women. Red pill is just talking about women, right? And the context is women have 100% autonomy. So let's say the fact that the red pill talks about women loving height. Well, men are not faking it. Men are not making it up. Men are seeing reality and just talking about it. So that's my basis where I can't believe anyone can argue red pill, because at the end of the day, if you're talking about context where men are controlling women and then saying shit, I agree.
Right.
But
Okay.
you let women have complete autonomy and men just saying, oh, women are this, women are doing that.
So let me quickly counter. Let me quickly
Go ahead.
counter. You said the left derogatorily earlier. You said that they're usually pro-abortion, pro-feminism. So you're saying that you're against that, right? You're saying that the best thing about the red pill community today is that women have the choices. We can just talk about them. But if you got your way, if you became the president of the United States, you would probably outlaw abortion wholesale, and you'd probably kill feminism, and also take away the right to vote, right? That doesn't sound like too much of a choice. I mean, right, DA? If your ideology is I'm mad that these things are happening, I'm mad that women get these choices. You can't really, say like, oh, but women get the choice to do this, so we're allowed to talk about it. In my opinion.
Okay. Here's my thing, right? One,
I'm just saying.
no, it's valid. I'll let you talk how you opinion. Well, I think you're wrong, because let's say hypothetically I was president, I would do exactly what Trump is doing, right? I would leave it to the states, because I believe that people have more control under their states than nationally. So I think it's perfectly fine what Trump did. Leave the power to the states. That's what I would do. I wouldn't ban abortions, because, to be honest, I've said this before, right? I'm pro-choice, not pro-abortion. I.e., I don't love abortion, but I want people to have
But
choice.
you'd keep it around? Hell yeah. Wait, I fuck with that. I'm with you, actually. I agree with you. That's the
Because
thing that gets me
I don't like
trouble with my
abortion.
liberal friends.
Yeah, I don't like abortion, but
yeah,
do what the fuck you want.
So we found some middle ground. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. And the feminist thing, right? Again, I would 100% keep women having rights. But let's say you talk about I would definitely have women having rights. The problem is you include voting with it. I don't think most people should vote, right?
I know, but
or
still,
how people should vote now, right? So
I know, but you frame it as women should be able to vote. Also, this stakeholder democracy idea, like you start with the dessert.
Well,
you know what I mean? Before you make us eat the greens with that one.
I think women are the example of it, right? I think women, in my honest
right,
opinion,
but that's based on nothing.
Opinion.
I mean, that's the idea that single issue voters shouldn't be able to vote, and women are mostly single issue voters. So let's just get rid of all of them wholesale. I mean, that's a radical idea. That's what I mean by radicalization, dude. That's exactly what I mean.
How's that radicalization?
The idea that I think that single issue voters shouldn't be able to vote, a majority of first of all, I don't even know where you're getting that number from. The majority of women vote on one issue, and also I think that the idea, yeah, if the issue is like abortion and someone's very staunchly pro-abortion, then like yeah, that makes sense. Like you can't fault them for that at that point. I'm just saying, like if that's like a big thing, is that women are usually single issue voters, so we should get rid of the right to vote of all women. Like that's a radical idea. It's an okay idea. This is America, baby. You can have whatever opinion you want. I'm not going to jail you for it. But like that's a lot more radical than, hey, let's look into the actual demographic, population stuff. Like, okay, single issue voters tend to do this and this and this and blah blah blah. Banning women wholesale because of a statistic you read, that's a radical idea.
No,
It's okay.
literally, I never said that, right? I said that I don't. I've said that I see the
Okay,
flaws of
so
women voting.
you
but,
say so. I mean,
I've
let's
never-
say this: like the
Again, just
alphabet
to be
community. You think
again,
that they're
this-
all wrong and all mentally ill. That's radical in this day and age. Like that's a radical fucking thing to say and think, man. Like that goes against every fucking psychologist in the nation. What you're saying about the mental illness thing, right? Like every fucking scientific consensus on, being gay or being transgender or whatever does not consider it a mental illness. So you saying that it is a mental illness and we shouldn't be electing these people because of their mental illness, that's a radical
Do you know?
idea.
See, this is why I find it disingenuous, because you don't look at it like a picture. Because here's the thing, right? Why I'm not
Okay,
saying that
listening.
100% medical scientists or whatever are wrong. I'm saying that I take it with a grain of salt, because I can see context, right? There's plenty of context where there's plenty of issues where I see nurses, doctors say, "Oh, you know what? We should not treat Trump supporters. We should not treat MAGA supporters. We should do something bad to these things." So if I take that,
disagree with that.
let me finish. Let me finish,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So if I
sorry.
take these issues, right, to context, I'm not saying that, oh my God, all doctors are terrible, but I would say that, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised that, let's say, people who would say, hypothetical, again, I'm not saying this is for certain, I'm not basing it on anything, personal
Yeah, okay.
opinion, right, is that, let's say, these medical scientists who said, okay, the trans community isn't mentally ill. I wouldn't be surprised, looking at behind closed doors, these are very left-leaning, politically motivated individuals. I wouldn't be surprised.
Ooh.
So I would say I would at least take things with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that, oh my
Yeah,
God,
no, it's totally fair.
I counter what they say, but I would
That's
say
totally
that, you know
fair.
what? I don't 100% believe what they say. So I would have opinion. I'm not saying my opinion, and this is why I've always, or most of the time, try to say that I pick my words as careful as I can, right? I'm just saying that maybe my FYP, or I always preference the shit that I say, right? Because of, I know people like you. So because I know I'm trying my best, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, to be as whatever as I can. So this is the thing where I at least go with questioning, right? I just question.
Can I recommend something for you to watch, actually?
Go for it.
And then we can talk about it later. So I was going to talk about the idea of the For You page and like where you get a lot of your stuff from. So the videos that you post is you reacting, giving commentary on a video you saw on TikTok, like often on your shorts at least, right? That's cool, and your TikTok too. Most of the clips you're watching, like I started looking up. Do you ever like seriously? Do you ever click on the accounts that are posting these clips that you're reacting to? Like often? Do you actually look at who's posting them?
I do.
So you know that most of them are right-wing reactionaries posting 15 to 20-second clips of a like random liberal they found. Like it's not a liberal, it's not the person in the clip posting that clip thinking that it's like the best work they've done. You know this. You're aware of this. You do know this?
Do you? I mean, this is why I said, right? Listen to what I'm saying. This is why I said plenty of times that it's maybe my FYP. Maybe it's just people on the internet, right? I mean, there's probably not people in the real world. I preference the shit I say plenty of times. I also said that this is the thing where I go for just the clip, right? I'm not saying, oh, it was something they didn't say or something that, maybe there's more to the context right there. I just express that, you know what they exactly said, right? Or whatever about them right there. That's what I'm reacting to, right? I'm not reacting to
that's other fine, but I'm saying that the clips that you react to are
I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Cherry-picked by people that already agree with you. So like I'm saying like my For You page, right? Like my political channel. Like there was a clip that I saw. Like I don't really follow any of those like clip reposters because I know that they're just going to take it out of context. Liberals do it too. I mean, everyone does it. So I tend to follow. I follow a bunch of right wing news sources. I follow like Nick Fuentes. Like I watch what these people post as their own work, right? Like their whole work, and then I create an opinion based on what they actually said in full context. So obviously, a 3-minute clip of a 2-hour stream, that's not the full context, but they clipped that 3 minutes specifically because they thought it went together and they think that they put enough context for you to make sense, right? That's the stuff that I watched. I did get one video recommended to me one day though on Instagram of Charlie Kirk screaming at a guy in a crowd, and it sounded like he was saying, it's not a fond word, but there's this guy named Chank Yeager. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah, there's a clip of Charlie Kirk yelling at Chank, but he says it really quickly so it kind of sounds like the other word. You know what I mean? And the comments, the comments on the video were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he said that in public," blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, that he did not. Like I was like, "There's no way." I'm not a big fan of Charlie Kirk, but I looked it up. I was like, "No way, Charlie Kirk just screamed out a slur in a room and didn't get called out for it."
No, I know that. I know that.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at these things up to make sure, and I said, that page, which was a left-wing like clip farm, I was like, that's a disingenuous page, and I blocked him. Like I was like, that's not good. I'm saying I think you should do that more, dude. I really think you should do that more. You are watching people that already agree with you posting clips of people you already disagree with. Like that's not like a good source of what liberals are actually saying.
No, I think that's really again, I think that's really disingenuous. Right? What? Because here's my thing, right? A lot of the videos.
You should watch more actual left-wing content. Is my point. I think you should watch the Dean Withers. I think you should watch their long-form videos. I think you should watch there's this channel called The Soy Pill who explains things really.
You know what? You know why I can't. You know why I can't watch people like Dean Withers is because he is radicalized, right? Where let's say hypothetically someone like you, which you know what, even though we have disagreements, I respect you more. Which, even though you're an asshole.
That's totally fine. Okay, so if I recommended, wait,
let me.
I'm listening. Sorry. Okay, my bad, dude.
So, like I said, right? Even though you're an ass a lot of times, I respect you more than someone like Dean Withers because him, I view as radicalized because I have rarely, if ever, seen him be critical of the left. At least you see that, you know what, even though you agree with me, that sometimes you could find agreements or you could disagree with certain things, right? With your sides or whatever. So I find it like at the very least, you could be more objective than someone like Dean Withers. So I'm not saying that there's no left, but I've yet to see one. And give me
that's fair. I don't actually think I'm a part of your Discord. I wouldn't mind joining though. Do you have a link in your channel description or anywhere that I can find it?
There's a link in my channel.
Oh, word. All right, I'll do that. I will drop some
right? So I can check out. You can always drop content. I can check out. You can
always drop dude. All right, cool. I'm saying that I think that you should. I mean, obviously, I think honestly, this would be a fun experiment for you. Instead of reacting to these like short, obviously, I mean, come on, DA, these are obviously cherry-picked videos, like very blatantly. I'm not saying you shouldn't react to them. Obviously you can, but I think that you would get a lot more out of watching like longer form. Here's my point. This is why I believe it. End of video. Like I think that is a much better representation of the left than some random fucking clip you saw. So I'm saying like I'll send you some, and I think that on your streams, instead of reacting to like random dumbass woman in a funny hat like says something insane on a podcast no one's gonna watch. Like instead of watching that sort of stuff, I think you should react to the more actual like academic liberals talking about why they think these things. Would you agree that would be better for like your political overall hindsight?
I'm always open to it, right? So I'm not,
and that's what I meant. And I'll finish. I'll end it out here. I know you're probably trying to go, and I'm trying to go to that anyway. Like that's what I mean by when I say cult mindset. I don't think they're all like cult members. Like you're actually like in hoods, like thinking like everyone is wrong, and I'm I don't actually mean that. I mean in the idea that if all I'm watching, if all the Red Pill pushes, if all the Red Pill explains is that this is a thing, and this is the only thing you should focus on, when there's a million other things completely, contradicting it or has something else to say about it, I think that is the cult mentality. That's what leads to it. Because if everything I'm watching says that I'm already right, because the people showing me these things knows the only way they're going to make money is by telling their audience that they're always right. That leads to this idea that, yes, this 15-second clip I saw is a perfect representation of the left, right? Like that can lead very easily, especially for teenagers. And that's why I think that I think that that's a rough mindset.
Let me
I'd
say
rather
this.
have
Right?
both statistics
I
posted next to
really,
each other.
no,
You
I
feel me?
really hate when you're vague. I really do, because
Okay.
I find it really. That's why I find it disingenuous, because it's like being
That's why I
vague.
try to get
Yes,
you to
you can make
defend
a very broad
the
statement, right?
left. Okay, like what? What did I say?
Literally
I can,
saying that, like
I'll
what
specify
you
it.
just said, right? How okay, they will always be right. It's like I gave you an example, right? If men say, right, if Red Pill say that yes, women generally want taller men, it's right. There's nothing
No,
about that wrong.
no,
So to say that,
okay.
oh,
So when's the
Red Pill
last
generally
time?
said
When's
they're
the
right.
last time you've seen? I mean, like for real. When's the last time you watched a video from even just like the political right? Because this is, I guess, has become their thing too, of talking about like domestic violence or divorce rates. When's the last time in one of those videos you've seen the male domestic violence rates or the male divorce rates
Yeah,
or the
I don't see that on the
male?
right. I don't see the right showing that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean. Like that leads to
I
a
don't
very
just,
easy. Oh, I can't believe it. Really? That's what they're doing without. And, like I said, it's the
but the
cats
right
and
isn't.
dog thing.
The right
I
isn't
can
Red
make
Pill.
you terrified of a dog. I can make you horrified of dogs and make you think that cats are the sweetest innocent things if I only talk about the thing the dog does. But if I give you both statistics, if I say cats do this, dogs do this, make your own decision, that's what I see a lot more on the left, especially when they actually cite their sources in their fucking
Give me an
videos. I mean, Jesus
example. Give me an
Christ.
example. The left put both sides.
This
I
video
would
that I'm
love it.
actually this
I would,
video that I'm gonna send you is from a
yes, I
YouTube
would.
channel he's not actually like left leaning. It's just a lot of the stuff he says. He brings up a lot of stats and stuff, and a lot of the stuff he says does kind of confirm what I
This is
think.
the thing where,
So
let me say this. I preference this. Maybe it's my FYP, but the people I see, like the
yeah,
Dean Withers, right? Sometimes I don't
yeah.
watch
Well,
his long form stuff.
Dean Withers is a bad
Sometimes it's
example.
shit,
He
or
is kind of
other
a
people,
prick,
right?
isn't he? He is
Yeah,
kind of a prick.
yeah. Other people is like they don't put both sides. So that's why I
Well,
wanted
yeah.
to
If we're
talk about
talking
that. Where your side,
specifically about
most people don't put both sides. They just talk about women. Women usually, when women talk, they just talk about women. When men talk, they just talk about men. When the left talk, they just talk about the left. It's just I rarely see, right? I mean, like I would
yeah, it's
love
political
a
discourse.
channel that actually talks about both sides. That would be great. We
Well, I
don't see
guess
that,
my
so
other
it is
thing
what
is
it
that
is.
you can. My other thing, and I'll drop that video, the Knowing Better video on the Red Pill. Like he made a pretty. He is a, for the record, before you go into it, like I feel like this is some good context. Like this channel, the Knowing Better channel, he is a veteran, like registered Republican for many years. Like he didn't come out the womb as some like liberal. I hate America. I'm just saying. So he just like kind of displays shit and then doesn't really even say what you should feel about him. Like he just displays facts and says bye. And I think that you might enjoy that. And an example, I mean, like he used in that video when he was talking about the way that the manosphere kind of distorts facts, he put up the male and female domestic violence rates. Like he talked about the male and female rape rates. Like he put up both of them, and then obviously one number was bigger. So I went, that's an interesting statistic, right? Like I think that the left does it a lot more than you know. I think that you're just not in the right space. And I spend most of my time watching conservative content, and I don't see that a lot. And that's why I would say that I'm probably more left leaning. I think they're a little bit
No,
more
I
honest.
just found that video. I'm going to react to it.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I hope you enjoy it. And I will. The other thing that I want to say, look it up. If you disagree with something, if you think that he's talking complete bunk, fucking Google it, man. Like Google's awesome. Like I'm saying, like even when I see a Dean Withers say something like Trump.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Could you hear me? Fuck. What's going on?
in general, and I feel like
That's weird. I don't know. Could you guys hear me? That is weird. Trump finally got it. Yeah, I don't know. Alan, I can't hear you. Oh, he's gone. Well, yeah, Alan has no sound, so he's gone too. He's gone from Alan. I don't know why he's still showing his icon, but he's gone. That's interesting. Oh well, it is. You know what? It was. interesting debate in my opinion, right? I mean, he brought some points. I brought some points. Who do you guys think made a more sound argument? I'm biased. He really didn't make a good argument, right? So, uh, it is what it is. I've said this before. Me and him were battling ideas, right? I'm not trying to I'm not trying to change his mind, but it's up to you guys, right? The viewers, right? Who do you think made better arguments, sound arguments? Okay, so Dizzy, thank you for still being here, right? Evil Eddie, I love you, my brother. Thank you for being here. I'm going to check out the video he talked about. I want to, see what it's about. So I think that would be interesting. But yeah. Well, who do you guys think? Who do you guys think made the better argument, the more sound argument? Him or me? You're crazy. You're crazy, Dizzy, but I love it. I love it. I didn't like his dog, and I mean, his dog. I think his dog analogy was weird. I think, to be honest, I think a lot of the things he said was weak, in my opinion. That's why a lot of things he said was vague. I said, I gotta put him hold his feet to the fire. Give me some examples, right? He didn't really give good, clear examples a lot of times. He has to go vague. And when he gave examples, I was able to debunk it or argue against it. Right, in my opinion. Right. Again, this is only my opinion. You decide. You decide. He believed he won. I believe I won. So it's up to the audience who they think was the right person. All right. So it's all good. If they were all right, I'm definitely put the Discord, right? Join the Discord and give me some content to watch. I'm definitely on my shit. I don't see it, right? So, but thank you, my brother. Thank you for coming by. I always, you are such a bitch, but still, I love you, right? You can be a jerk, but I still love you, right? I still love you, even if you could be a jerk a lot of times. Yeah, I agree. To engage us. I always Google shit. I constantly Google, right? I constantly Googling things, right? And if I'm wrong, I will always admit I'm wrong. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to admit that I'm wrong. I've never been scared to admit me being wrong on anything. So that's my thing. All right. I've never promote to be pig hated. I never promoted to be, not, absolutely stubborn on my beliefs. So no, I love it. Thank you. You always make give me some content to make. So I love it. But yeah, guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying this long. The song by Evil Eddie. Please check him out. All right. Great, I guess, composer or producer. I love it. All music by Evil Eddie, right? That's all good. I mean, we don't have to be honest, I've said this before, we don't have to agree. I've said this, we shouldn't need to always agree. So it is great that, you are, have a difference of opinion. It keeps me on my toes, right? Keeps me on my toes. Guys, love ya. See you guys later.